something about that being live that makes it just a little bit better.
It's exciting, bro. It's some exciting shit.
Got your heart pounding. Guys, welcome to the Four Orsemen podcast. It's me. It's that LUKE, Luke MonetMaaate. So sick, man. To my, depending on where you are, to me it's my left. To you guys it may be the right. Mr. 55, as of,
Hey, that's me.
Yeah, I mean,
that's me.
It's you for now. It's all good. Slap nuts, guys. No.
What's going on, man?
No, for Juicy Boy, they just pointed in the wrong direction. You need to point up. There you go. So right in the bottom right-hand corner, you got Juicy Boy.
What's going on, bro?
Yeah, how's it going?
Looking down on you like the piece of shit you are.
What's going on, guys?
Bottom left corner, the host with the most, Karlifornia.
What's up? How you going, mate? Thanks for having us on. And it's great to be back with the Four Orsemen.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. It's been a little bit. We've been waiting for something to really grab our attention to get this.
Something that actually matters. Hello to everyone in the chat as well.
Yes, you guys.
What's going on, guys?
Thank you for coming to our first ever live edition. We hope you enjoy this. It's different. We've not done this before, so if it goes well, we are hopefully going to continue doing it.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah, hopefully.
I think it'll be.
We just can't be as offensive as usual.
Yeah, we've got to try.
Well, we will still be a little offensive though. Don't worry. Like we'll be a little bit.
All right.
Yeah.
Just like to make the edit job more difficult.
Well, I mean,
there is no edit job.
Not for this one anymore. Now that we're doing live, no edit job. It's all good. All right, but we're here for one reason, and it's one reason only, and it's to discuss the AEW Revolution pay-per-view. I've been calling it AEW Evolution ever since Paul White said Evolution instead.
Oh my god,
really I noticed that. I noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pissed me off.
It's really starting to get on my nerves, man. So before we really get into each individual match and discuss it, let's go around the box, I guess, and discuss overall opinions before we dive in deeper. So we'll start with Mr. 55.
All right. First of all, I just wanted to point out we're all wearing hats tonight. That's fucking great.
Yep, that's true. Absolutely. Yep, I'm wearing my hat.
All right.
I've got my hat on my hat.
Yep. And the second thing I wanted to ask was, does everyone here have a beer?
I have a seltzer, bro. They're fucking awesome.
I do not have a beer. I have a bottle of water.
I got a seltzer. Yeah, 6%. Fucking refreshing, man.
You have something else though, DJ, so I get it. But anyway.
I got me straight spirit.
Yeah, we can't ignore this guy. Wait, that guy. And I've got a Melbourne bitter.
Yeah.
But
nice.
Man.
Just to quickly answer that question, Bestia, no, please, if you mute, it's not going to do anything. We're going to have to override that and continue talking. It'd be a bit stupid. But moving on from that.
I was just going to say, maybe what we could do, guys, to make sure that we include the chat without derailing the discussion too much, is just like after we go through each kind of bit of the show, then we'll kind of read a few, we'll look at the chat.
Oh, great idea, bro. Great idea.
Yeah, I know.
Idea,
I think,
man.
I just
could have ran it by Luke when we were off the air, but great idea.
We were just off, we weren't live.
You could have suggested that. Yeah. Anyway, so without interrupting me.
Well, I invented that idea. So.
Okay, back to Mr. 55. Thank you.
Sorry, what was the original question again, Monet? We just got so off track there.
No, thanks a lot, Juice. Jesus.
It was my bad, actually, because I started it.
Maybe we should have the mute option.
Overall opinion, just a very general opinion about the pay-per-view and what you thought of it. Expectations and delivery, I guess.
I went into this wanting to give... So, all right, let's give a backstory. I was an AEW fan, a big AEW fan in the first, let's say, 8 months. And then I started to, the cracks start to form. I'm sure they formed much sooner for you guys, but for me, it took a little while because it was something new, it was something different. It wasn't WWE, and I'm a guy who loves gimmick matches, and they're doing a shit ton of gimmicks, so it was whatever. Anyway, so we start to, the form started to crack. We get to the point of not wanting to watch this shit at all. This shit is just ridiculous. We just want to watch it to laugh at it or talk shit about it, whatever the case may be. I went into this show wanting to give them another chance. I wanted this to be the show where, okay, I know what AEW can do. I've been able to take positives out of their show in the past. I've loved their product before, and I want this to be the show where they decide, I'm sure they're not self-aware. I don't think they're very self-aware at all. So I don't even think even if this was the show that would kick them back off, they'd probably still be doing stupid shit because they're not very self-aware. But getting to the point, I went into this with high expectations because I wanted this to be like the show to give me another chance. And me being a fan of gimmick cards stacked to bottom, so I was a big fan of like pay-per-views like TLC and stuff like that when that was first going, before they, ruined it with all the shit that they do these days in WWE. But this isn't about WWE. Man, what a show it was. I was very excited at the start. Okay, and I don't want to go too much into individual shit yet because I don't want to overstep it. But
you went in excited. How did you leave?
Let's save that for the end.
Okay. I don't think we need to dwell too deep into that. Joose, overall opinion.
Yeah, look.
Very general, guys. You could do a general. You could just.
I overall, I did not really enjoy this show all that much, but I did think that it had its positive moments. As usual with AEW, there was plenty of stuff where I was like, man, if they would just run with that, things would be a lot better. But, disappointing show, but no fault of the talent.
Okay, that's fair. California, your idea was to watch AEW. You're the person that was most against AEW. What made you interested in watching this, and how did you feel by the end of it?
Well, that's true. I remember when it first began and Jack was very excited about it. Jack literally almost like begged me, you have to give it a try. Please just give it a chance. I'm like, I can't do it, man. I can't do it. Like, I read what Tony Khan and Cody say in interviews and they annoy me. And I just can't, because I know it's this, circle jerk with all these guys in that company. They all, think they're king shit, and because they sold some t-shirts. So like I've been against ever watching any show of theirs. I've watched some clips here and there. And I think the only matches I'd seen before this was Cody and Dustin, and of course Jericho and whoever, whatever it was.
Was it for the first title win?
I don't know. I don't remember. But anyway, that's beside the point. The point is, like, I just would not give this a chance. And, I've been obviously a wrestling fan since 1998. And to have not been invested in a wrestling company since TNA in like 2010, to go this many years being so bitter and disappointed with WWE and wrestling in general, and only watching the old shit, and always feeling like I'm a drag to talk to about wrestling if someone's excited about today's stuff, because I'm just going to be negative all the time. And I'm sick of being negative. I went into this with an open mind thinking, okay, there's a few things that I like. I like Paul White. I like Sting. I like Jericho. I like Matt Hardy. Let's just give this a try. And maybe you might like it. And maybe it could be something that's current that you can follow and enjoy. So that's what I went in, the mindset that I went in with. Yeah. And I guess overall, I just saw so many problems and so many bad habits that they've got themselves into that I found myself just getting annoyed most of the time. And I will go into a lot of that later on. Very small things as well that a lot of other people might not notice. But by the end of it, I was like, fuck, thank God it's over.
Yeah, okay. A lot of the sentiments that you guys have already said, I agree with. I do feel like, as Joose said, there was its fair share of positives in there. And I mean, to be fair, the amount of positives for at least watching, I feel are growing. I feel like they're starting to get some things right, but every time they get something right, they get another couple of things wrong. A lot of the matches went for too long. We'll get into the details of that in a second, but obviously I came in excited. I always go into everything because I keep up with everything anyway. I'm not a fan of either product at the moment, really, but I keep up with everything for the sake of knowing everything, because I need to know what's going on at all times, basically. So I went in there with high hopes. Some things good, some things bad. We'll get into it in a second. But for the sake of this podcast, we're only going to focus on the main card. The buy-in, that's fine. I don't know
what the fuck happened.
That's fine. Britt Baker, and I can't remember her name now. She's good. She is good. I just can't remember her name. She's Japanese. Just can't remember off the top of my head. Okay, so it was Riho and Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker and Maki Ito. I don't know.
Oh man, I love Riho.
I don't know if that's how you pronounce Maki Ito. There you go. Sorry, I know Instant Classic. I didn't we don't get enough time to watch.
I'm sorry, I want to chime in. Maki Ito is the chick on Twitter who like translates. She's like, I love sweet poo.
Yeah.
Poo loves me.
No,
Just
I
like
know.
that.
Yeah, no, I know who she is. That's the thing.
She
I
says
like,
she's the
I like Britt
she-
Baker. I like her.
Britt Baker's
Yeah, I
got
like
a
her
huge
too.
future. Maki Ito, I'm sure will do the same thing. They're all
Yeah,
I
good.
like
cool.
Thunder Rosa. Thunder
They're all
Rosa.
great, except I don't like Riho, but that's a different story. I don't care.
Fuck this guy.
So we're going into our main card. So we open up with Young Bucks versus MJF and Chris Jericho. Yep, there's a lot of deep sighs at the same time there. That is a lot of deep sighs. I guess we'll start. Well, Juicy has his hand up. That's very polite of him. So he doesn't usually put his hand up to talk. Go on, you start off then.
All right. So, I want to say as well, it'll apply for all the matches. Like I always go into AEW wanting to like it, right? So if anyone throughout the podcast thinks that I'm being unnecessarily mean, why would I deliberately want to have a shit experience? So with that being said, like I'm not really a Young Bucks fan. I totally think that a lot of their performances just break the immersion of wrestling too much for my taste. However, they're fantastic athletes. I was a big fan of their series against the Motor City Machine Guns in TNA as Generation Me, and I'm a big fan of MJF, and yeah, I agree with Bestia there. That ties into what I'm saying. Actually, I'm not a huge fan of Chris Jericho. I think he's losing a step. I don't think it's all there. I think that his creative sensibilities just aren't what they used to be, no matter what he says. However, I could tell that he had like quite a lot of influence in helping put this match together. And for a while, I was like, all right, this is going to be a decent tag match. Like MJF and Jericho are like, they're both really good workers. They both have that more traditional perspective on things. This is going to be good. They'll slow the Bucks down. But so then they're trying to tell the story that the Bucks are pissed off about what the Inner Circle did to their dad and all this shit. So they come out there like a house on fire and they're all brawling and shit like that. And I'm like, this is great. But then immediately they start fucking doing high spots and shit. Like a simultaneous sunset flips rolling over the opponents, rolling through into simultaneous sharpshooters. If you are angry and you're pissed off, and because of something that's happened to a member of your family, why are you doing high spots and all this fucking gymnastic shit in what's meant to be this intense bloodbath? Then like I'm watching what is supposed to, I feel like they were trying to put across this idea of like, we're having this tag match. It's a blood feud at this point. It's personal. But then they keep on breaking up that psychology and just interjecting with like, more high spots. And when I say high spots, I'm talking in the literal sense of like aerial maneuvers, flashy, like finesse-y kind of stuff that they do, which I just don't believe fit at all into the narrative of what they were trying to tell. MJF, I think, was the MVP of this tag match for me. I know a lot of people praise MJF big time, but I'm not overrating him. I understand that he still has a long way to go. But in my opinion, out of those four guys, I watched MJF hold this fucking match together. Into his selling, his timing was excellent. He sold it as if, I'm a heel and I'm actually getting my comeuppance from these guys. And it had all the potential in the world to be a very fine tag match. And I was kind of, actually enjoying it and stuff like that until I just noticed that there was going to be a constant going back to all this high spot stuff. So, yeah, disappointed is my overall feeling on it because I wanted it to impress me more. I was looking for it.
We'll go to California for the next one.
Yeah. So, I have a little bit to say about it. I liked when you have to understand, I haven't seen a Young Bucks match since they were in TNA. So I've completely avoided them all this time. So when they came out and I saw serious and they weren't smiling or doing anything that they always do in WWE. I was like, okay, like we're off to a good start here. And then the first thing that I'd noticed that kind of made me go, come on, guys, was they had the double sharpshooter. I don't know which one it was, but someone had MJF in a sharpshooter. MJF was in the center of the fucking ring. Why would you just let go of the sharpshooter? He just let go of it. He just let go of it. And I'm like, you have him in the center of the ring. So it's the first sign. And I'm like, man, you've been doing this for so long. Surely you should know that, you know, at least Jericho got to the ropes, I believe. Get MJF to the ropes. Don't just let go of it. That's so backyard wrestling. I would do that all the time. I'd lock in a sharpshooter and then I just let go because it was time to do the next thing. I knew it was wrong, but like they're professionals, so they should be doing it correctly. Other notes that I had was Nick Jackson looks like a teenage girl.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know what the fuck happened when they attempted that Meltzer driver the first time. Jericho reversed it into a tombstone, and then Nick Jackson still does the flip thing and lands on his fucking ass. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing?
When that happened,
I was like, what are you doing, man?
Juice and I nearly just lost our shit when that happened.
Yeah,
fuck, man.
Did you like? Yeah, sorry, go on.
And the only other things that I wanted to say was like it was off to a great start. I was really enjoying it. It looked like a fight, but then they have to get to their shit because the fans have come here to see the Young Bucks get their shit in, so we got to get our shit in. You know, so I see things like the super kick party, which I've never seen before. Now I know what it is. I'm like, oh, that's great. Your super kicks are real effective because you can't knock someone down from the first one. You just keep going. Yeah, you know what? Let's ease off on these super kicks so they keep standing, so we can do a thing called a super kick party. Shouldn't you be just aiming for the hardest super kick you can possibly hit and knock the cunt down? That's things like that. It's just stupid shit.
Win the match.
For the sake of it. Yeah, and it just annoys me. And so I thought they were doing so well overall, but then they just add in the stupid shit. They take me out of it because I'm getting annoyed about it. And then, you know, I just thought another funny thing was, you know, hearing Tony Schiavone call the Meltzer driver, I'm sure made him sick to say because you know, Schiavone doesn't like Dave Meltzer. And to have a move called the Meltzer driver as well, I mean, come on, man.
Was it Schiavone that said that? I thought that was Excalibur.
No, Tony did say it.
Oh, man, that's awful.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, I want to add on to that super kick party because how many more fucking guys on the show were using super kicks? Like almost every single match.
Yeah.
And it's not just AEW, man. It's WWE as well. I mean, that Jey Uso, whichever Uso it is, man, fuck, dude.
They're less, though. They're less. Let's not equate those things for being the same problem. They're way less. They got like 3 people that do them. AEW, everyone fucking does it. Even the big guys do super kicks and shit.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I mean,
you're
up, Mr. 55, so continue what you were saying.
Well, I'm fucking like, I was already annoyed before the bell had even rung, and this is just because I'm sure this is just this has been a thing for ages. Like, why are the faces singing Jericho's theme song? Just, I know it's a tune. I get it. I fucking get it. But just why?
All the baby faces in the crowd singing.
All the baby faces in the crowd just at the front row, just singing along. And I'm just like,
they should be despising him.
Exactly. They should just be blocking their ears, man. Put some earmuffs on.
They did at the start. They did at the start when it first started kicking off. It was only the heels singing along. All the faces would act like they just didn't want to be there or anything like that. And now everyone's singing along because they needed to sound like there's more people there.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous, man. But like I can get around the wrestlers being in the fucking audience. It's whatever. Like, you know, it's better than having nothing. But man, that just irritates me. And the second thing.
Only if they sell the story in the ring. Sorry, I'll shut up. Go ahead.
The second thing, and this is just because like I love tag matches. Like that's probably one of my go-to things is a good fucking tag match. I was talking to MonetMaaate last night while I was watching this, and I was just like, "Are these guys using tag ropes?" Like, well, you may have asked the question. I was trying to take a picture of like the turnbuckle to try to find if they were using tag ropes, and I don't think they were. And this is because of the apparent loosened tag rules that they announced at the start. Because I was getting annoyed at the fact that Audrey Edwards was not counting illegal men like in the ring. It's like you can get away with fucking anything. Like, what's the point in a fucking tag? Like, I'm just going to debate those fucking modified tag rules right now Because what's the fucking point at that point? If you're gonna not count the illegal man, then it may as well just be a fucking tornado tag, and you may as well
Yeah,
fuck the tag team
that's
rule
it.
off.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. But anyway, about the match, it is what it was. Like, it was just like, it didn't excite me, but it didn't bore me either. Like, it was good. It was okay.
Yeah.
Jericho looks like shit. I'll say that. I don't like, as Beth just said earlier in the chat, I'd love to see Jericho in a managerial role, or even move over to it and wrestle less. Like, I don't know, man. He doesn't have it anymore, and I feel like he just should have. He should have stopped at the end of WWE. I mean, maybe should have just done one more run if he knew this was coming up. You know, like, he doesn't, like, he can still do his shit, and I get it. Like, I loved the lion salt into the super kick into the ribs. I know that contradicts everything we just said, but it was a cool spot.
Oh yeah, it was okay. That was okay.
all right. Yeah, that was fine.
But you
Stuff
made a
like
good
that's
point
fine.
there, Jack. You made a good point about the fact that not at one point of the match was there a near fall where I went, oh man, I thought it was over. They never gripped me.
Yeah,
I think that's what you're trying to say. It never gripped you.
No.
It was just a match.
that's
And
right. It felt like TV match. That's a good point,
Yeah.
Jerry. It just
It was
felt passable at best.
it was a good TV match, but it wasn't pay-per-view standard. That might be because I don't even like the Bucks. Like, I just flat out don't like the Bucks. I don't find anything they do believable. I think the super kick party is ridiculously stupid. That's meant to be a devastating finisher, not something you whip out fucking 11 times a match. I love MJF to fucking death. He is probably one of the best things going in AEW next to Ricky Starks, but let's get into that later. I'm a big Ricky Starks fan. What else was there? The Meltzer driver has got a fucking ridiculous name. That's it from me. And AEW, get some fucking tag ropes.
Yeah, so
Fucking use them.
So basically the rules of the AEW tag matches are, rather than a 5 count in the ring, they say a 10 count with discretion up to the referee. So basically, the ref could just not count, basically. So that's that. They do not have tag ropes, I can confirm. If these people are saying it correctly, they do not have tag ropes.
If people in the chat, if you guys have seen tag ropes, just
Let us know.
let me know. Yeah, because I'm curious.
And I think that for me, at least, that's what really damaged the overall match, is the fact that there wasn't any believability that they couldn't just do whatever the hell they wanted in that match. And that's what made it dumber when there was like a bat shot to the spine and then a pile driver through the ropes. I feel like you could have done that at any point and the referee wouldn't call it because they were just letting everything else happen. If there's no coherent rules in a tag match that not only the wrestlers have to follow, but the viewers at home can also follow and say, hey, that's a legal move, that's an illegal move. How can you watch a tag match and really enjoy it? Like, the moves they did were fine when they didn't land on their ass or do something dumb.
No, it looks good and it's fun, and I see why people like it. Like, it's not my taste.
The high spots are fine. They did them fine. They did them whatever. Good, or cool. But this was meant to be a rivalry, which means there's meant to be a feeling of a payoff. And first off, the Young Bucks about a month ago were heel, and now they're face again. So
Yeah.
I couldn't
Again.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so they turned heel and were bullying Tony Schiavone for a little bit, and then that stopped because of the Impact invasion. And it didn't feel like a tag match. So when it was for a tag team championship, I just couldn't get behind it. The match felt like there was meant to. As Carl said, you weren't really gripped and like, oh, it may have just finished. I was more like, oh, is it going to finish yet? Every time there was a pinfall, I was like, is this over? Do we have a finish? Because all the things that should have happened should have ended the match.
Yeah.
We won't get too much further into that because that's a whole different situation. But we're going to stick on tag teams because we're going to talk about the Casino Battle Royal. I believe.
I'd like to go first.
Okay, but before we do, I'll just quickly summarize the slight updates in the Casino Battle Royal format. I believe it was a 15 team. I think that was the number that they went with, 15.
Originally?
I think that was the overall team amount that was in the ring. Chat, correct us if we're wrong. Feel free to. I think it was 15 men. 15 tag teams. So basically 30 men in a Royal Rumble style match, right?
Yeah.
Sounds hot.
Only the difference is with the Casino Battle Royal, I don't know if they did it the year prior, they weren't doing it by decks of hands. So like the hearts, oh, here come the clubs. So they did it one team at a time. They just ran out. So with that being said, the updates in the rules, I think before we start, we can all agree probably made it a better match. Not having a clunk of people coming out at the same time. I mean, when we go into the discussion on the length of the match, I'm sure that will become an issue. But in terms of a bunch of people running out at the same time, fighting each other and getting in the ring already brawling. Can we agree that that helped out the format of the match, or does someone want to contradict me?
I'd rather.
I'll agree that it left more space in the ring at any given one time than in the previous version.
Yeah.
And as Fluffy has just said, the concept is a really cool idea for a tag team tag team Royal Rumble. I think a lot of people have been wanting to see that.
Yeah.
Karlifornia, do you think they delivered?
This was probably the match on the show I hated the most.
Oh,
okay.
Shit.
Shit.
Yeah. So I have a lot of notes that I wrote as it was happening.
Okay.
So QT Marshall, first time I'd seen him, I said to myself, he better show me something because he looks generic as fuck. 10 from the Dark Order is not ready for television.
Great.
He's
100%.
awkward.
Yep.
Awkward and clunky. Santana and Ortiz are tiny. The choreography that they've all mapped out beforehand is so apparent. Everyone's trying to get their little shit in when they enter. And I get that. You have to get yourself over when you come into the match. But you can see everyone cooperating with each other so much. It's just, I don't know if they need to go over the choreography more to ensure that it looks like, that you're not seeing them helping each other out in every spot. So that was something that was just irritating to me the whole time. And man, everyone's just getting kicked in the fucking head and face so fucking hard over and over again, knees and kicks to the face so hard. And I'm like, dude, like, kill someone kicking them that hard. They need to just cut their kicks like in half on every show. And if you're going to do kicks, okay, kicks to the stomach, kicks to the legs, whatever, but cut back on the amount of times you kick each other in the fucking face, because it's just unrealistic that you're going to be up 3 seconds later. I liked the Gun Club. When I saw them come out and they were doing a few things here and there, I was like, these kids are going to be really good one day.
I think all of us agree with that. I think everyone had the same thing when talking to everyone, that we all thought the Gun Club really came out looking flash. Like,
you can tell.
No one else talk. No one else talk. Let Karlifornia finish.
And then there's this QT Marshall shitty heel turn that I was just like, okay. And I found a lot of the movesets of the guys to be really annoying and just saw these convoluted moves. Like, man, there's nothing wrong with just doing a backdrop or a Russian leg sweep or a suplex. I know it's a bit boring, but man, everyone's got these intricate movesets. And the one thing that fucked me off the most, which I'm sure you're all fucking dying to talk about, is that Evil Uno. He should be fucking ashamed of himself of how he fucking the spot with Marco's stunt, and Marco goes to the outside and Uno's still on the ring apron, and then he just runs at the ring post, collides with it and falls down. The commentators start laughing, and I'm like, that was the most embarrassing thing on the show apart from what happened right at the end, which we will all get to. And I'll leave everyone else to talk about when it's their turn about how much that fucked them off.
Yep.
The bunny from the Butcher and the Blade. The Butcher and the Blade should have won this match. They look like stars. I like those guys. The bunny needs more screen time when she's making the entrance with them because she's a good-looking girl.
Yeah.
And when she was celebrating after fucking over Dustin, do a close-up of her. I don't know who's in the production truck, but when things happen, come in close. Do a quick shot of the person. It happens so many times on the show where I'm like, something is happening right now and we need to see the person's fucking reaction. We need to see that close up. Cut to camera 2, camera 4, camera 6. Please. I don't want to see that wide shot when something important is happening right over here in the screen. And I'm squinting to look at it. I want to see the reactions, the facial expressions. I didn't get that when things like just her celebrating after fucking over Dustin Reynolds. I don't like Private Party. Park and Phoenix, too many super kicks. Enough with the Dark Order already, as far as I'm concerned as well. They all look too generic. They all got their gear from E-Lucha. It's just, they don't intimidate me whatsoever. You have a Ministry of Darkness that intimidates me. You have Raven's Flock. that intimidates me. They look like fucking, misfits and scary motherfuckers. These guys don't scare me at all. The only other things I wanted to say was, fuck off John Silver.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
And, gotta love that thigh slapping Ray Phoenix.
Yeah.
I think, and one stage there was, it was down to Jungle Boy and Ray Phoenix, and someone said, "Oh, mano a mano," and I'm like, "No, mano a boyo." Like Jungle Boy is a child, with a teenage girl's body.
Manuel.
Oh man.
And also, right near the end, referee Rick Knox, you can fuck off too, okay? Because when Ray Phoenix did that awesome dive to the outside and he stopped everything, did he go over the top rope? No, he didn't go over the top rope, fuckface. Just let them continue the match. I don't know why it's like they're trying to make it seem like a legit sport by having the referee be so involved. Did he go over? Were you looking? Were you looking? If you were looking, and
you have eyes
away from the fucking action, then maybe you would have seen that. No, he didn't go over the top rope, you fuckface. That's it. And the last note that I wrote was, once it was over, whatever.
Fair call.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Sorry, big rant, but man, so many things fucked me off in the match. And back to our host.
I'm marked up now as well after that.
I'm ready to fucking.
All right, well, you guys are both arced up, ready to go. I want you guys to play paper, scissors, rock to get the next one. Ready?
All right, look up at me, DJ.
Look up at him. Look up at him. Ready? Paper, scissors,
rock.
Oh, again.
Oh, great.
Paper, scissors, rock. Again.
Oh man.
Paper, scissors, rock.
Man, this needs to end with the crowd going.
Rock.
Oh,
yeah,
fuck you, man.
Okay, I got him.
Everyone clap.
Go ahead.
In the chat. Everyone clap in the
Go
chat.
ahead.
Oh man.
It was just so evenly matched.
Man, I was very interested going into this match because I love a good battle royale. Add a tag team into that, and I mean it's fun. It's a fun little match. I don't think it's anything to really get try to fucking break down as a fucking wrestling match, but at the same time, it's just like, there's a lot of questionable shit going on in there. First of all, I want to add on to the Gun Club. I wish I wrote notes for this. If I can just go on fucking as I remember it. I fucking love the Gun Club. Oh, wow.
The gun.
Wow. All right. So, the Gun Club.
Sick.
You can tell they're the sons of Billy Gunn, man. You can just tell.
They look so much like him, man. They I bet they get laid all the time.
Man, they got it. Yeah. Man, they just looked fucking incredible. They were the first team that came out that I was genuinely impressed with. Also, I agree that the Butcher and the Blade were fucking impressive. We need more Bunny. Fuck, man, who else was in that match? I disagree with you talking about John Silver like that. Johnny Hungy is fucking sick. He reminds me.
So small.
I know that this is sort of a inside joke between, more so between us four. Not even an inside joke, just someone we all know. He just reminds me a lot of Ryan in a lot of ways. So that's why I get a kick out of him. He's just a fucking. He's got muscles, man. He looks like he could fucking kick someone else. He's just so tiny, man. He's a manlet. Little manlet.
All right, well, maybe I'll warm up to him, but at this stage, for some reason, he really pissed me off. So
I would love to do a live watch of BTE just to see what Carl thinks, considering the Warzone.
BTE got me hooked on John Silver. Yeah, because John Silver's got a lot of personality. He's got a lot of character. He's fucking great.
For those that don't know, when we were doing yarding, there was a little thing that we did called Tales of the Warzone. It was like little skits almost. BTE, and I don't think California is aware of how similar they actually are.
I ripped off the JBL and Cole show I did.
He was taking the piss out of the JBL and Cole show.
I love that show. Great show. It was a great show.
Completely opposite it was BTE, and they do very similar shit. So we might have to get Carl on for a watch along of a chunk of episodes as we go. But continuing on,
I really fucking liked again the book.
Fluffy just
I just redeemed 100. Thanks, Fluffy. All right, none of that. Okay. Bear Country looked pretty good. Those guys look like they could kick some fucking ass. I
Yeah,
thought they
cool.
looked really good. I also didn't know Matt Sydal had a brother, let alone he was wrestling.
Me neither.
But I was not
Me
impressed.
neither.
So
I'm
you
gonna
guys
point that out.
clearly
He's-
don't catch up with the product. That's all.
Yeah, we don't.
We don't watch products that aren't worth our time. So go ahead, Jack.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. Like, just Matt Sydal is just not Evan Bourne anymore. He's got the same thing. Like, I don't know. He's whatever. And as for his brother, again, it's just like, he was tiny, man. How small is that guy? Wait, no, I'm thinking of Matt. Who's the no?
They're
don't get me
both
fucking
small.
wrong.
They're both small.
Fucking.
Matt's
There's so
the
many
shorter
small
one.
guys in that match. Yes, but yeah, no, it's just sort of, The finish kind of annoyed me going into a 2-on-1, but I guess I don't really know the context behind any of what was going on in that with the finish. Ray Phoenix's dive was fucking awesome. Yeah, with the bunny like celebrating in the corner, there was a lot of that show. There was a lot of this fucking people sitting in the corner on the hard cam. What's going on, Hannah? You could see so much just shit on the hard cam, just in the bottom hand corner. Like, I will go into it later. There was another one that I want to point out, but it really pissed me off. And the bunny was the first one I noticed. Was not a fan. Yeah. But overall, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I guess it wasn't the best match on the card. It wasn't the worst. It was just something that was there for fun.
Oh no, it was the worst. It was the worst. No, I already covered that. It was the worst.
All right, thanks, Carl.
Sorry.
No, not quite. Not quite.
I would not have been mad about it being the opener though. I will. Anyway,
That would have been a nice lead into the tag team match if they wanted to still keep it tag match based after tag match based.
also Marco Stunt can get fucked.
Yeah, fuck
That
Marco
spot
Stunt.
pissed me off.
I reckon
it's-
it was that evil Uno's fault. You know, like I
Oh.
don't like Marco Stunt, but like the dude just fucking didn't go.
Just. Let-
Continue, DJ. Joose.
Yeah, DJ, you're up.
Oh, is it Mike? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're up.
Someone mute him.
I've not been a fan of these fucking casino battle royals basically from the beginning. You know, I remember when I first took a look at All In way back before AEW was even a thing yet, and I saw it, and it was just all of these fucking a mix of yadas and like low-level indie talents all in one ring with no space to do anything and absolutely no psychology being done. And when I heard that they changed some of the fucking rules for this one, I was like, all right, maybe this will be good. It'll be like one of those tag team turmoil matches that WWE does. It was still just a massive clusterfuck. It's like AEW, I said this to Mr. Monet when I was watching it, AEW needs like their Pat Patterson to actually like lay out their matches.
Yeah.
The pre-choreographed nature of the way that they call their matches in this promotion is hurting the quality of their matches. Butcher and Blade with Bunny, they actually look like a real tag team act. They're scruffy looking guys. They look like they could beat you in a fight. They've got this like really attractive, valet with them. Together, that combination makes for a really good act.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them do a bit more. The Gun Club, as we said before, I was like, each of them seemed to have a different aspect of like their dad's ability. You could tell that the shape that they were in and the way that they were moving in the ring, they've been trained properly. And they've been taught to fucking the importance of being in the gym and looking good and stuff like that. So that was the, they were impressive. I mean, these, what were they? Bear something? Those guys.
Bear Country.
They didn't have any business being on TV yet.
Yeah.
They didn't. No, they didn't.
So
They looked like they were two wrestlers from fucking the old AAW promotion in Perth. No tans, fucking e-lucha gear. They did not fucking. They just did not belong in the match. Dark Order. They did not need two teams representing.
Three,
Dark Order
actually.
Three.
It was
Okay.
three.
So why do you need 15 teams then? Why do you need 15 teams if you're going to have so many people from one faction fucking
20%.
represented in one match?
20%.
They failed anyway, bro. So.
And they failed. And you know what? Who was the other thing? I actually like Peter Avalon and his tag partner because they know that they're enhancement talent, right? They know that that's their role. They do it well. Like that's good. Fucking Stu Grayson himself has gotten a lot better since ditching the player Dose gimmick and fucking becoming Stu Grayson. Evil Uno has gone in the opposite direction and actually become a lot worse since he went from being player Uno to Evil Uno. That sell at the fucking end. Okay, all right. One time I was in Schwa training, and a wrestler got received a Hurricanrana, and for whatever reason they either couldn't or didn't take the flip bump, the somersault bump, and they just took a face first bump from it and landed on their stomach. This is like that, right? Evil Uno obviously understands on some basic level that a Hurricanrana is supposed to propel him, but he completely ignored the physics of what that's meant to look like. There's no way that somebody, no offense, Jack, but there's no way that somebody that's half the size of Jack is going to fucking swing their body around. His legs wouldn't even be strong enough to hold on to fucking Evil Uno, to propel Evil Uno over at all if it was a real sport, let alone fucking cause this 150 kilo fat cunt to fucking run across the apron and then take a really generic fucking bump into the post with both his hands up like he's in a training match or something like that.
God damn.
And speaking of training matches, that was the other thing. Because they've pre-choreographed everything, they all ended up fucking standing there waiting for everyone, like, oh, when's it going to be my turn next?
Yeah.
When's it going to be my turn to do a spot? And it was stupid. There was too many cooks in the kitchen, and most of those cooks looked like they didn't even belong in McDonald's. I liked the Gun Club. I actually liked 10. Like, I actually like 10 and the other guy. I thought they were all right. Yeah. Like, just overall, too many cooks in the kitchen, too many elements to it. They could have really, done a much better job if it had just been the Gun Club, and one other team. Like the Gun Club. Oh, that was the final thing, right? No. Sorry, 3 teams. I would have put in Puck and fucking Phoenix, and I would have put in Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, and then I would have put in fucking the Gun Club. But that's the other thing, the final thing I want to say before we move on. Luchasaurus also looks like a fucking, like a yada sometimes. I don't understand why a guy that's that big, that looks that good, feels the need to do these dainty, crappy little MMA kicks that don't look good. And I don't understand why, if you're trying to be this big, powerful dinosaur motherfucker, why you need to try to keep up with all this high-flying bullshit like that everyone else tries to do. And yeah, that's my thoughts. It was a poorly worked match and a disservice to the people that they put in it. It really was. It wasn't fair to all the people that were in the match.
Fair enough.
I guess that comes back to me. I think that I agree with a lot of things that have been said. Gun Club, I think, came out the best, like looking the best out of all the teams. Second was Butcher and the Blade. I for the better part of their entire tenure, have just thought like, what as a team, what really are they? But now, and it's not based on the visual, but based more on how they are, I'm getting a real like Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch feel in just like the way that they go about being in the ring and as a unit, where originally I didn't appreciate, because it was just like, what kind of gimmick is this? But then I'm now actually invested in how they're performing in the ring, what they're doing. I do really appreciate that. Probably too many teams in the match. Probably could have cut it down to 10, and it probably would have made the match nicer. You could have definitely cut out the Dark Order teams if you wanted to. I wouldn't have, because I'm a big Dark Order mark. I think they're good shit if you watch some of the other shit that goes on outside of the actual shows. Pretty Peter Avalon, sick. Teaming up with, get this guys, the 2017 NXT Future Star of NXT winner. That's
so ridiculous.
Yeah. Cesar Bononi, I believe his name was.
Yeah.
What's his name? Hang on.
Yeah,
Cesar Bononi.
Yeah, Cesar Bononi. Look, there was a lot of good things, a lot of bad things. It just kind of goes into the same kind of bracket hold. But I mean, I thought it was good. The updated rules helped the match. I thought, again, less teams in there meant that it could have been cleaner, easier to go through. The final 3 being Death Triangle and Jungle Boy doesn't make much sense. because, and again, it comes under their weird kind of allegiances thing where they're not really faces and they're not really heels. But recently, Death Triangle has been promoted in a face-style role against Eddie Kingston, Butcher, and the Blade. So therefore, you'd go into this thinking, okay, you'd have two heels taking on the one babyface. I could have understood if they were doing it like all faces and it was all competitive and stuff like that, but it was immediately Death Triangle up on their feet, pointing to beat the shit out of this child, basically. Jungle Boy's sick. He's got a great future. I'm a big fan of Jungle Boy, but it's a child against two men, and
Start a cruiserweight division if you're going to do it.
If you're going to do it, you need a heel in there. You need a heel team in there against a babyface single, or you do Phoenix against Butcher and the Blade. Concerning the history and stuff, he doesn't have his brother there. They've got a history together. Butcher and the Blade go to eliminate Phoenix, and Phoenix wins it all if you want to have Death Triangle win the match. That makes more sense. And as Instant Classic said, they were all baby faces. There's just certain rules about wrestling.
But that just makes it stupid that it was booked that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, do you understand what I'm saying?
And I thought Pac and is it Pac or
I thought they were heels.
I thought they were heels. I was like,
like when I said that idea about the triple threat, I fully thought that Pac and Phoenix were the heels. Okay. Pac.
It's
X-Pac. It's X-Pac.
And it's Pac.
Yeah, it's Pac. X-Pac and Pac.
It's Pac.
X-Pac.
No, but I'm pretty sure if you listen to I believe it's Pac. Yeah, it is pronounced Pac.
Barrel, make some noise, Pac.
But I feel like if they less teams, shorter time frame, it could have been better. It's a fine team to win, having Death Triangle win to face Young Bucks. I don't get, and I may have missed something, I don't get why Phoenix was so emotional about winning this. It seemed
like a tag title shot. Man.
Yeah, I know, but
very important.
He's done way bigger things than a tag title.
Oh, like what?
I don't know. Well, on the independent scene, I guess, whatever. And he was on his knees crying to Pac, and it's like
maybe he was crying in happiness because the match was finally over.
Look, I think it could have been better. I do think it could have been better. But again, it was a great improvement from the previous Casino Battle Royals. I thought if you compare it to the other ones that have happened in the past, that's the step in the right direction. And I think I'd be really interested in seeing. I know Karlifornia, you're hating this. You're hating this right now. But if you've seen the previous ones in full, this is a step in the right direction for the Casino Battle Royal. And I like the fact that they're doing it so that it matches different divisions. It's not always about this same thing.
Yeah, no, I get it. It is cool that there was a tag team rumble, but can we move on to the next thing?
Absolutely.
Sick of it. Actually, before we get to the next match, I just want to say there was a backstage thing with Big Show, and I like that they're treating their broadcast people as journalists, and Big Show's going to get the scoops. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, good point.
I was wondering if he's got. What scoop did he have?
Oh, he's got the scoop.
Yeah, the scoop on who was the new signee, even though he didn't come out when it happened. But also, I liked it when DDP and Al Snow were shown in the crowd. I liked that.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
Well, we haven't gotten there yet, guys. Come on.
There was a
plug for Al.
There was a part. Was it in the Casino Battle Royale? Was someone? No. Next match. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Jesus.
Can I go first?
Well, okay. This next match is the AEW Women's Championship match. You want to go first on this one? Did you want to go first on that one? Okay. Just before you start, Hikaru Shida versus Rayo Mizunami. I believe that's how you pronounce it again.
That's well done, bro. You done good.
I did study Japanese when I was in school. So
really?
Oh, nice, bro.
I did. Yeah. Was invited on the Japan tour. I couldn't afford it. Dropped out. So continue, Mr. 55.
Nice. I was very, very, very surprised by this match. I did not know what to fucking expect at all. For context, I'm not a fan of Japanese wrestling. I don't watch Japanese wrestling. I don't care for Japanese wrestling at all.
Or Japanese people. I'm kidding.
That's a hell of a claim.
No, but imagine Jack ended that with that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I don't like Japanese wrestling. I don't watch Japanese. I don't like Japanese people. I've never cared.
But anyway, just for fucking still recover. I I don't know, man. Like just the Japanese style. I need to watch more of it. It's not that I don't like it. It's just I just never given it a chance. Never had a Japanese phase. Never gone out of my way to watch NJPW. Maybe I should make that on my my bucket list. Well, not my bucket list, but New Year's resolution in
Seeing New
March.
Japan live is sick. To be fair.
You had a Japanese phase once, didn't you?
No, she's Cambodian.
No,
No,
really?
Filipino. No,
Sorry.
Filipino.
That's terrible of me.
We're getting way off track already.
They all look
Okay.
the same.
But she, I mean, not she. This match, man,
just
like
to piss you off, Monet. Sorry, Jack, keep going.
Trying to stream.
I didn't really know the build. I mean, I didn't really know the build up in going into this match until I watched the promo. Of it, obviously, because I don't fucking watch AEW, dickhead. I felt like it was a very easy story to follow in the fact that, they won the tournament. Hikaru Shida has been the champion for fucking like 280 something days or whatever. And this woman is from Japan. Her opponent's from Japan. And they had a big rivalry in Japan all these years ago. And now she's coming over to the United States to be in AEW, to wrestle in AEW and win the AEW Women's Championship. And I really like the fact that they had genuine history in another promotion, in another country. There was history there. There was a story there. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed the promo that they had there and how, what was her name again? Rayo. Wait, where is it? Rayo Mizunami. There we go.
Yeah.
How Rayo Mizunami said, never in 100 years would you beat me in a wrestling match. Never in 100 years.
Wasn't a bad attempt there. That was pretty good.
Yeah, thank you. I just had to look at it. I've got the Wikipedia card open. Yeah, she told Rayo told Hikaru, never in 100 years would you beat me. And I was like, oh shit, okay.
Thank you for the cheers. Thank you for the cheers, Fluffy.
Oh, thanks,
Thank
Fluffy.
you.
Cheers, Fluffy. Cheers, big boy.
And thank you again earlier, Fluffy, for the subscription to Hannah. That was very nice.
And also, and also thank you very much to Can I Please Be a Jockstrap for following the channel.
No, I didn't even say that.
I didn't
Big up.
Cheers, bro.
Minutes ago. But thank you so much,
Cheers.
Jockstrap. You guys, you're the best, Jockstrap.
Yeah,
All right,
I love that. Jack.
Let me get into this. Fuck
Yeah,
off.
let him get into
Okay,
it.
Jack Strap,
Let's
let's get into it.
Piss off.
We're in match 3. Fuck.
Yeah, no shit. I was fucking surprised by this match, man. Like, I texted Monet before saying, can I skip this match? And I never got a response back, and I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah.
Because this was, like, for me, one of the matches of the night. I laughed so fucking hard. Like, and as you mentioned, DDP, when Hikaru Shida got thrown into the crowd, and everyone, like, it was into obviously the faces or whatever, and all the wrestlers took a bump, and even DDP in the crowd fucking bumped for it. Like, he took a bump. Go back and watch it. It's fucking hilarious. And I was just like, oh my God, is that DDP with the fucking bandana on? Like, I thought it was like Santana or Ortiz, but that wouldn't make any sense. So when I like saw the replay of it, like with her just getting thrown in the crowd, and DDP is just like nowhere near the fall, by the way. He's just like probably
That makes
half
it
a meter
better.
from him. And he's just like, and he like falls over and shit. It's fucking amazing. Everyone go watch it if you didn't see it. But no, I thought the match was awesome, man. Like everything was clean, everything was crisp. The false finishes had me, and I thought it was great. The only thing that I didn't like was just like you can only, as you said earlier, Carl, and DJ, I think you mentioned this too. You can only get kicked in the head so many fucking times. You can only get punched in the head so many times, and this match had a lot of that stuff. So it was just like it was hard hitting as hell, and it was great. Like it's probably one of the best women's matches I've seen in a long time. Yeah. But it just dragged out, man. Dragged out too much, and that's the only downfall for me. It just dragged out. But other than that, it was fucking awesome. It's fucking great.
All right. Next, I'm going to move on to California.
Right. Yeah, I wanted to say the package before the match. I liked it because now I know. Now I'm invested.
Yep.
Now I know what the build up is. Now I care.
We mentioned this before you continue. We mentioned this on the previous Four Orsemen podcast, I believe, where we discussed. It was either the previous one or the one before last, where we discussed, and it was you in particular that led the discussion, how vital promo videos are actually to a feud. And for a lot of us, I mean, for all of us in reality, none of us were aware of the previous history between these two. And that promo video immediately got us ready for the fact that this is a feud that's lasted 10 years. 10 years ago, you said never going to beat her. And we now understand the depths further than just the women's championship match. So continue.
Yeah, it's you have to, every time you put on a show like this, you have to bring everyone up to speed on everything. You have to pretend that there's a lot of people out there that are watching this for the first time and sampling it for the first time. So you need to get everyone up to date on everything immediately. But I did want to say in that video, I wasn't impressed with Excalibur being dressed in a jumper and an Oasis t-shirt and his mask. I don't know. He just looks stupid. I just think if it's something important like that, he should be dressed a bit nicer. Hikaru Shida is girlfriend material, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. Oh,
she's
so hot.
She's a
She's
babe.
so hot.
At the beginning of the match, there was a little chop battle in the corner, and then they would stop and do a little dance, and then the other one would get thrown into the corner, and then she would Four Armor, and then she would stop and do it. I don't know what that was about. It kind of like, it's supposed to be this like serious fight between these two. I don't know why. I mean, I get being cocky and all that, but it was just a little bit, took me out for a second, at least at the beginning, but it was a good match. The referee, Paul Turner, you're an absolute dickhead. I know that there's no crowd, so you can hear the referee more than usual, but the way he's like, get in the ring, get in the ring.
Yeah.
And then he goes up to Shida and he's like, your championship is on the line. Get in the ring. And I'm like, man, like, it just didn't, it was just, you know, it was too fake for me. Another thing that I've brought up before is kicks when people are on the ring apron. You know, when they hold that top rope and they lift their leg up and kick them. They did it so many times in the Casino Royale thing, and it happened here again as well. And I'm like, can somebody think of something else to do, please? It got to the point where I was like, finish the match already. A lot of false finishes, some of them that did get me, so that I was gripped, but the finish was anticlimactic. It should have been one of those previous false finishes. That was the finish, because by the time that they did it, I was already out of that grippage. I was already out of that, and now I'm like, oh, okay, so it's over now. After all that, Shida doesn't sell enough with her facial expressions, and then the big attack after the match. 5 women come out there and attack both of them. Not Shida, the other girl. I can't remember her name now. It will take me a while to. Yeah. One of the girls who had come out was biting her fingers. And I'm sitting there again, as I said before, close up, shoot that shit. I want to see her actually biting the fingers, not from a distance, this little thing on the screen. I want to see the girl actually biting her fingers. So, like, again, whoever's in the production truck, making big mistakes there. Yeah. It's just so elementary. And then there's 5 women beating up these 2 chicks who've just gone through this hellacious battle, and Thunder Rosa, one person, comes out and 5 women run away from her. She's tiny. Give her a chair if she's coming out there. Give her an equalizer that's going to make everyone run away. Don't just have fight. Why would 5 chicks that are fucking fighters, why would they run away from one girl when they're already beating down 2 who aren't fighting back? So that really annoyed me. It's like, just think on your feet, guys, when you're coming up with stuff like this and Thunder Rosa's going to make this save, give her an equalizer. It just makes it that much more better.
I believe that Thunder Rosa, in terms of being, you know, in terms of shape, I think she was the smallest woman in all of the people that were in that ring. So of all the 6 women, I believe she was the smallest.
Yeah, and then, of course, right at the end there, Shida went to give her opponent a handshake, and they cut to a video package. And I'm like, great job, you fucking novices. Like, wait for the fucking handshake and then cut to your package. That's all I wanted to say. It was a good match and better than the first 2.
Yeah. Juicy Boy.
Yeah, this was the second best match of the night for me. I also was really invested in the package. I really connected with the Hikaru's opponent. I thought that, you know, she has a lot of charisma. I really liked the way that she carried herself. I actually was gonna, you know, Carl kind of jumped on a few of my points I was looking forward to most making, but no, it's all right, bro. I found myself basically in almost mirror agreement with Carl. Excalibur did look stupid wearing the mask. Like, even if he had been wearing a suit and still the mask, it still would have looked stupid, but it would have looked a little bit better.
Maybe just a voiceover would have been fine.
Yeah,
I don't
or
know.
a
I just don't
voiceover,
like them. I
or a
just don't like the
voiceover.
mask. It just
Because you're not wrestling
distracts
anymore,
me.
dude.
It distracts me
matter.
too much. You know.
It doesn't matter what his real identity is either. Like, it doesn't matter at this point. So,
it obviously means a lot to him.
So that was stupid, but I liked the overall package. I thought it was good. Obviously, both women, tremendously talented, carry themselves like stars, act like stars, you know, very professionally done. Look, I thought that this match was pretty fantastic, except that it went on about 5 or 6 minutes too long. The match finished 3 times before they actually did the pinfall and went home with it.
Yeah, typical Japanese wrestling, isn't it?
Some of those, but not even. It's AEW as well. You know, like if this was WWE, somebody would have said to them like, "This is your time. You know, this is what we want," and it wouldn't have. It was anticlimactic the way that it finished. Like, any one of those spots. Like, because I've always thought, how are you that arrogant that you think you guys can kick out of all this shit that would keep The Undertaker down, you know, or Brock Lesnar down?
Yeah.
It's too much. It's too much. And then I also felt like towards the end with the continuous, like, chop exchanges and kick exchanges, it got a bit too much because there was not enough selling going on by that point. And I was like, you know, at this point, they've taken enough to be down for 20 seconds, you know, but they keep getting up. So that was my feelings on the match, but those were my kind of negative points, but it was still my second favorite match of the night. I think both women worked really hard. I'm going to definitely, you know, check out some more of Hikaru Shida's work and of the opponent as well. I keep fucking blanking on the name as well.
Rayo Mizunami?
Yeah, Mizunami.
Mizunami.
That's it. She was fantastic. I really liked her just energy and stuff. As far as the stuff after the match, I love Thunder Rosa, but they didn't do her any favors. That whole segment was just shot to hell with the way that it was booked. Like Carl said, no weapon to help Thunder Rosa. Way too many. Nobody like can take on 5 people on their own. Credibly. It's almost like AEW.
This is Stone Cold.
Yeah, that was the other thing I was going to say, and it was very apparent in this women's match here and the segment afterwards. They always tend to book their characters into whatever role they feel like, regardless of whether that particular character is credible in that role. Like, they'll say, okay, this is what we want for this person, so this is what we're going to have them do. But the truth is that different wrestlers and different performers fit different molds, and they're better at playing different roles. And AEW hasn't figured it out, you know, exactly how to get the most value out of each of their talents in that regard. And that was on display with the way that this women's segment was booked. It would have been better to just have 1 or 2 people come out to beat up on the women after the match, and then have Thunder Rosa come out there and beat their ass.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Look, I was not a fan of Mizunami originally. And it was mostly just for, I hadn't watched any of the stuff, so it's based off of first opinions. But when you first look at her, you're just like, first opinions, but I watched her on the previous AEW pay-per-view, and I thought the same thing then, originally. I was like, this is just like a female Okada, but just not as interesting. And that's coming, I'm not a fan of Okada anyway. I wasn't necessarily invested in the character. Promo helped. Pre-match promo helped. The match helped. Definitely one of the top matches on the card. And that was a bigger shock for me because of the fact that I'd written her off after her first AEW performance. I just wasn't interested. Very, very good match. Again, 5 minutes too long. It felt as if they were... it almost felt like they were told to keep it going for a little bit longer, as if something had gone wrong with the timing and they just had to like keep it going for just a little bit longer because they kept doing the same thing, you know, the knee, running, whatever it may be. They did it like 2 or 3 times over, then all of a sudden the match was over. So again, overall, I really enjoyed the match. Very physical, very intense, hard-hitting, and it felt like, okay, now this is a rivalry. You look at Young Bucks versus Inner Circle and all the high spots and stuff like that, where it didn't even look like half of it was connected very well. And you compare it to the Women's Championship match, which felt like, 10 years of history here.
Mm.
10 years of history. I know I've pissed you off with that opinion about Okada, Hannah. Just doesn't cut the mustard for me. That's, just how it is for me, unfortunately. I feel like the women's match really did deliver, and in a time where the AEW women's division has not gotten a lot of one, decent storytelling and two, decent feature. Like they try to feature it as well as they do, but it hasn't really connected as well as it has now. Shida is a great champ, and it's a shame for me that Riho will be recognized as the first champ, when I believe that if there was anyone that should have, I mean, obviously it's a different situation, obviously at the time, whatever. Shida, if she was the first champ, the women's championship division would probably look a hell of a lot more different, and a lot of people would probably have more eyes on it. That's just my opinion on that one. Again, this goes back to the 5-on-1 and the 1 wins for whatever reason. It's bad enough if you was to do the 4-on-1, where you've got Britt Baker, you've got everyone there except for Nyla Rose. I'm not going to get into all the names because it's just going to do my head in. Everyone there except for Nyla Rose. Now, Nyla Rose has beaten everyone on the roster. Like, she's killed them all. I've watched her kill her. So why, when she's got backup for this one instance, where she doesn't usually have backup, she would never have backup in any other usual situation. When she's got backup, why is she bailing?
Why would she powder out the ring with when she's got backup with 4 chicks?
Yeah, and on top of that, she's killed multiple people at the same time.
Yeah.
Why is she running? And she's fresh. It's not like she's been in a match.
Yeah.
So there's actually zero reason why she wouldn't stay in the ring and just start fighting. I don't know. That's my opinion on that. A lot of storytelling things need to be fixed up, and you could tell because the story that's been told 10 years prior was more interesting than the story that they were trying to tell today.
Right.
But again, one of the better matches on the card, so I can't really hate it too much. Next, we move to a... Yep, why are you staring at the screen like that, Joose?
Because everything on it is a wonder to me.
Yeah,
we get to the tag team match. Sorry, we've got another tag team match here. It opens with Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy backstage about to start an interview.
We like to call them the best friends.
Best friends are actually Chuck and Trent, and Orange Cassidy is also a best friend.
Why does Wikipedia list them as best friends?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't really classify Orange Cassidy as a member of best friends because it was mostly just Chuck and Trent. But again,
who cares? Who cares?
Going too far into it. It starts off. They're about to start talking about it. They're starting to do an interview. Then immediately, as they're about to get this underway, Miro just sprints in and just starts assaulting. Let's open with Juicy Boy.
Yeah.
By the way, this is talking about the tag match. This is talking about Miro and Kip Sabian versus.
I gotta say this. Oh, dude. Well, sorry to hear that, man. Hope everything. Hope everything works out, man.
Oh shit, man.
Appreciate you coming in, man. Love you, man.
Feel free to hit any of us up. You know where to hit us up.
Yeah, man. Hit us up, man.
Let us know how you're going later.
You know what we're about.
Right.
And so best of luck wishes to him, of course. And also, before I get into this tag match, Salvatore, you can't just say Okada is the best wrestler in the world, fucking just like Kobashi was in the 90s, which he wasn't, and then say facts.
Is that Salvatore?
Facts.
Is it the
hang on,
Salvatore?
Is that Salvatore M? No way.
Hang on.
I think so, yeah.
Is that my boy Salvatore M?
I believe that might be your boy Salvatore M.
Oh man, DJ, watch your mouth, okay? This is Salvatore M we're talking about.
Okay, but it's just like
we got to wait.
It's just like
something.
Okay.
All right.
Facts are normally backed up by evidence. Okada's not the best in the world. So, all right, on to the tag match. Fucking, I found myself wondering the whole time why Miro is still paired with Kip Sabian. The actual wedding ceremony where Miro was going to be best man, I assumed that was going to be like the blow off of that angle. But it wasn't, obviously. I think that Miro is finally starting to, make some traction in AEW. They're finally starting to use him the right way. He's in tremendous shape, and I mean, for God's sake, he was the MVP of this tag match for me. I think that his performance was incredible. Kip Sabian acquitted himself quite well. Also, I felt like the spot where Penelope gets bumped off the apron and Miro acts like he doesn't care. The way the commentators were playing that is almost like they're going to sort of position Kip and Penelope as the baby faces in that rivalry. That doesn't make sense. If I'm fucking Miro and I'm a competitor and I'm trying to make a name for myself in this new fucking company, then I am going to give a shit more about the match than about the fact that Penelope Ford, who's voluntarily out at ringside and is a wrestler herself, took a bump off the apron. So that psychology didn't really work for me. I'm sorry, who are the opponents again? I'm focusing too much on
It's
Chuck
Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy,
Right.
bro.
Thank God Chuck Taylor is finally wearing a singlet because his flab was getting out of control. You know, like it was just getting out of control. Fucking Orange Cassidy actually is a potential star in my mind. And I say that as somebody who has a personal disliking of his gimmick. I'm not a big fan of it, but to me, it's obvious that there's something about the kid that connects with people. I see it for some reason. I don't know why, because again, I'm not really a Giant fan, but I see it there. I can see something being done with him. Overall, though, I thought that this match was decent. I thought as a showcase for Miro, primarily, it worked really well, but I would have preferred to have seen this match on the go-home edition of Dynamite, and then I would have preferred to see Miro in some kind of singles match, which perhaps Kip and Penelope can inadvertently mess up for him. So, yeah, I feel like this worked, but just barely. You know, I think that the Best Friends, they're an okay tag team. I've seen Chuck Taylor have some great matches in PWG and on the indies, but I haven't been impressed with how he's adapted to, like, the television product. You know, he's still running around looking like he wrestles in bingo holes every week. So for me, this was kind of, you know, not that great, not really awful, just kind of there, but it did effectively serve its purpose in making Miro look a bit more credible as a threat.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, I'm going to pass this one to California.
You know what, Luke? You always go last,
You want me to
and
go?
you probably don't get the chance to make your point before everyone else has already made the same point that you're probably going to make. You go next,
Aw.
and then I'll go.
What a gift from the host with the most.
I get to go last. That's okay because like I literally have like I was on my phone most of this match, so it's all good.
Well, I mean,
I have 2 points though.
Look, I appreciate what they did with the backstage interview. There's not enough interviews where they get attacked before they get to say anything. So that took me, that shook me. I was not ready for that. So we're just about to get ready for an interview, and all of a sudden Miro busts in and kills someone.
Well, there goes point one.
Yeah, how does it feel? I've got no points by the end of it. I just summarized.
Fair bump though, man. Like Miro was a machine.
It's literally, it was a great thing, and Miro did come out looking exactly the way he should have been when he debuted. And I get part of the process was to introduce Miro with, you know, a different character, and I understand that. They've done the wedding now. It looks like they're moving away from the best man situation, so getting Miro away from Kip Sabian. They both need to remain heels. They just need to have a disagreement as heels would and just separate. No feud needed. Miro doesn't care about them. They don't care about him. Just dissipate from each other. I like the fact that Cassidy and Taylor lost. Everything seemed like they were going to do the typical babyface cops the win on this one because they've just had Chuck Taylor being the servant. Orange Cassidy helped him out and stuff like that. Big payoff. The good guys beat the bad guys. No, instead, the bad guys have beaten them again. I think that was a nice, refreshing change and much better in the long run because you got Orange Cassidy who's going to get over as his star as that may be. He can work. I know he can work because I've seen his stuff on the indies. I know what they're doing with him because he's got this character that is kicking off. I hope they can do it in the right way until it does eventually fade out because every gimmick like that does have an end date at some point. If they're going to do it right, then so be it. They're making a star out of him, whatever. That's all good. He can survive a loss. Chuck Taylor is also enough of a vet in the indies and now on national TV now. People understand that he's been here for a while. He's enough of a vet to be able to take a loss and still look like the credible mid-carder that he is. They're not designing him to be a big star or anything like that. He works in the tag team with Trent. When those two are together, they can win matches. That's all good. I feel like this went as well as it should have gone. It wasn't going to be a big match. It wasn't going to be a long match. Just needed to get the point across that 1, Miro's killing people. 2, they got the upper hand at the start. And 3, the only person that Miro cares about is Miro. And that should be the focus going forward. No more, and as Joose said on stream with me when we were watching it, no more video games all the time and Gucci and bleach blonde hair. Literally, he doesn't have to be the same Bulgarian brute, but he can definitely continue killing people.
When did he dye his hair back?
Just at some point.
I assume it's just grown out.
Because he looks fucking great right now. He looks great.
Brown hair was always the better option. We didn't need the Bulgarian Slim Shady. No one wanted that.
No,
he's looking great right now.
Cisco.
Yeah, yeah. But that's really my points. It wasn't designed to be one of those matches that you're like, oh, that was a great match on the card. It was meant to get a point across. It got the point across. I'm fine with it. I'm perfectly fine with that tag match doing what it did.
Very good.
Could have been safe for Dynamite though. But yeah.
It may be, but it was good because it branched you from all these full-on matches that we've had in the past, up until this point. You've had the tag title match, Casino Battle Royal, women's match. I may be forgetting one in between there already. I think this is the 4th match on the card.
Correct.
Yeah, so
yes.
you've had a bunch of full-blown matches. It's nice to get a breather where it's not so full-on and in your face as if this is like a UFC card where it's fight after fight after fight, and they will have the potential to be fucking all these huge matches. Just get a nice quick one out the way, done, easy, get your point across about a story, move on.
Yep. Great.
Yep.
Now 3rd, because I was dictating him to go 2nd, California.
Okay. Before I get to the match, I wanted to say there was a shot of the commentators. Didn't like that shot. Didn't like the way they were shooting the commentators talking between matches. I'd like a nice close-up of them, maybe standing up. Instead of them just behind
you
there.
don't like when they're sitting there and it's like on an angle.
No, I don't like that. Like I like it when they're like just maybe they're standing up or they're looking at the camera like they used to do in WCW. But it's okay. It's not a big deal. But Excalibur's wearing a fucking suit, man. Tony and JR should be wearing suits too. They look like they were dressed to go fly fishing in Wyoming with Eric Bischoff.
Yeah.
Okay, like
literally.
Get those little. I'm sure it was cold, but like. They should be, if this is one of the biggest shows of the year, is this their WrestleMania?
No, Double or Nothing's their biggest show. But this is a big 4 though.
It's a big 4, right? So I think every big 4, I think every commentator should be dressed schmick like Excalibur was. So
either they all wear the suits or none of them wear it.
Yeah, don't differentiate. Let's it's a uniform.
Who was wearing a suit? Because I know that JR
Excalibur was wearing a suit. JR and Tony were essentially dressed the same.
Wait, so you're telling me that Excalibur I didn't even notice this. I didn't pick up. So during the promos before.
He wasn't wearing a suit then.
When he should have been wearing a suit, he wasn't wearing one. And then when he shouldn't have been, he was.
Yeah, and JR and Tony were dressed the exact same with like that little vest thing here.
Yeah,
anyway, I just wanted to make that point. The commentators should all be in theme and dress the same. So getting to the match, Rusev looks in the best shape of his life, and I'm glad his hair isn't blonde anymore. The entrance takes place, and another thing that I noticed is that Penelope Ford is definitely my kind of girl.
Yeah,
I like the leather, man. I dig the leather. I think it's great. That's why I like the bunny as well.
She was once known as the bad girl.
Ooh.
Oh,
she was also, however,
very naughty.
She was, however, also dating Joey Janela.
Disgusting. That's disgusting.
Immediately,
I still don't even know who he is. So it's okay.
Well, trust me.
Rusev actually looks like a man. So you see someone like Rusev, and then you look at everyone else on the roster, aside from a couple of them, and you see the difference there, and you're like, man, this guy's going to run roughshod because he looks like a fucking big deal. He's jacked to the gills. He's looking good. I thought Kip Sabian looked like he'd come straight from Connections.
True.
Which, for those out there who aren't aware, is a gay club here in Perth. Nothing wrong with being gay. I'm just saying, he looked like he was gay. I think Kip Sabian's too small to be taken seriously as a believable fighter in a world where you fight people. So they should start a cruiserweight division, as far as I'm concerned.
They really should.
I know a
They
lot of
really
people
should.
would be against that because they like to have it equal for everybody.
But it's not equal.
everyone's-
It's not
Yeah,
equal.
exactly. But that's the way that they think. But I think everyone who is small, like a Jungle Boy, they do better. Okay, it's okay easy to tag team with a real big dude. That makes sense. But these guys like Marco Stunt and all that, they can't compete with guys like Rusev. And if they beat them, it's bullshit. It's bullshit and it's unbelievable. So that's what I wanted to say. Rusev is believable. I don't know what I'm talking about in my next note. It said that Orange Cassidy's selling pissed me off. I don't know what it was. I can't remember. But whatever it was, he did something that must have annoyed me. Another thing with the match, there's too many stupid move combinations. Just fucking do it properly. I don't know what I'm talking about there either, but I'm sure it's because every move that they hit looks like a finishing move. It's just too much.
They try to string moves together like it's a video game.
Like they hook him for a suplex and then they grab one of the legs and then they pick him up and fucking drive him down like that. That's a finisher, dude. That's not a fucking 2 count.
Yeah.
So there's the stuff like that really annoys me.
Yeah.
And the Orange Cassidy thing with his hands in the pockets and he does the light kicks to the side and the crowd will go crazy for it. Okay. When does the joke get old and you start doing something else? Like, I get it. It is funny to look at, but after a while, you've been in the company now for like nearly 2 years. You know, a joke sometimes can get old.
Playing devil's advocate, though, he does way less of that shit than he did before.
Oh, I'm sure he does, but I'm just saying, I just think some things get a little bit old sometimes.
Yeah.
But the last point that I made was Rusev was fucking impressive. He was clearly the pro in the match, not a knock on the other guys, but he looked way more believable. And I didn't mind the fact that he hit a lot of kicks because the kicks actually looked really fucking good. And he didn't overdo them where he did 30 kicks. He only did just a few, because if you only do just a few, less is more. They obviously have more impact because you only need to use that many kicks. If you do 30 kicks, then obviously your kicks are shit because they do nothing to get a pinfall. I'm glad he won. And the last thing that I said was fuck off. I don't know why. I was just like, if he loses this match, I'm going to be fucking... If Rusev loses, I riot. And notice that I've refused to call him Miro.
Yeah.
He's always going to be Rusev to me, just like I always call it the WWF instead of WWE.
Now, before you get into it, Mr. 55, I do want to quickly back up something that Karlifornia did say. Well, great. Now I've forgotten it. So, Mr. 55, you could start it.
All right, sweet.
I had it and I was ready for it. I was like, I'm going to really bring this shit back up. This is a really good point that you made. Completely gone.
First of all, I'm fucking happy for Miro. I am so happy for Miro that he looks like a fucking badass. He's not some fucking tryhards fucking Slim Shady anymore. He's not some little bitch anymore. He's like a fucking actual, like, I'm going to fuck your shit and I'm going to fuck your bitch. Like straight after, like he's actually going to do that. And he's not kidding. That's the way I love, like, you know, just badass Rusev and good Rusev. And good Miro too, I guess. Yeah, I'm just talking shit. I loved the way the interview was, as I think it was DJ mentioned earlier, before the person even said a word. Or was it you, Monet? Monet, you mentioned it. Before he even said a word, just head through the fucking glass window in the door. Like, fucking hell. Why? And then he was just cut the entire match. Like, it was just, I thought they told a really good story there. I feel like it added so much to the match.
Absolutely.
Without that, I feel like the match just would have been like, whatever. But there was story attached to it. There was something attached to it. Chuck Taylor's in a struggle. You know, he's fucked up, and it's kind of it was I don't know, man. Like, but again, I didn't pay too much attention to the match. Miro just looked fucking great. That's all
I'm glad that that's what lays on top of Lana.
Miro, like
saying like she's getting sorted out 7 days a week, twice on Sunday.
Yeah, and it's by the best man.
You guys essentially had already hit most of my points, but I do also just want to expand. Like, yeah, AEW do need like an X division like thing for all their small guys, because then I can watch it and it's fine. Then it's fine. But when they're in there with heavyweights and shit, it's just
Yeah.
Before we continue to the next conversation, the thing that I remembered was when it comes to Miro being or Rusev being the pro in this match, right? You can tell, and it's not a knock on the competitors, but in reality, one of the guys has had national TV experience in America, right? Yeah. So obviously there's different styles in Japan. So Kenny can do whatever he wants in Japan and stuff like that. And we'll get to that when it gets to that. When it comes to American national TV exposure and how to work the American style of wrestling, only one guy in that ring knew what to do, because the other guys have been busting on the indies and they're learning as they go with being on TNT and stuff like that. There's certain things that you need to be able to do to be a good wrestler on a national American wrestling broadcast. Miro was doing all that. That's why all the kicks looked really good. His placement around things looked really good. He made there was a stuff up, and there was an obvious stuff up where Kip Sabian was outside checking on his missus. I fucking already forgotten the name.
Penelope Ford.
Penelope Ford, of course.
I won't forget it anytime soon.
Penelope Ford. So Penelope Ford's down on the outside. Kip Sabian is the legal man checking on her on the outside. And Miro's on this roll, kicking everyone down and stuff like that. He goes to get the cover. And he makes it look legitimate. What was in reality a botched moment where Kip was on the outside when he should be inside, trying to get the tag. He made it look like, dude, we've got this match. Maybe they did this. Maybe they planned it. It looked legitimate enough where I'm questioning whether it was part of that said storyline of the knocking off the apron or not. Because it didn't look like it. It looked like they were uncoordinated in the fact that Kip was the legal man on the outside, Miro on the inside. He comes out, makes it look like, okay, you need to focus on the match, not your misses. Get in there. They tagged, they got all that sorted and stuff like that, and he continued killing him. There was all these minor details where you could see this is a pro that has been in a situation where, one, he's got the experience of being on the American national TV circuit, where people are watching him week after week on national TV. And two, he's also got the experience when something goes wrong, how to fix it on the fly in a way that is going to be as little to be noticed as possible. Based off of the fact that there was a bit of an awkward stage while in the ring before he went and got Kip, I would say that wasn't meant to happen. And it didn't look like it was that big of a botch either, because you guys all forgot about it. Usually these moments where there is uncoordination between tag teams, that gets picked up very quickly, because in AEW, relaxed rules means there's a lot of miscommunication with who's the legal man and who's not. And usually that wouldn't fly. I don't appreciate that in tag wrestling as someone that has done, it's yarding, so it doesn't really count. But tag team
I didn't even know there was a botch, dude.
Yeah, because it seemed like it was part of the storyline. If you watch it in detail, and I encourage, if you haven't seen it already, anyone in the chat, to look at it closely, because I do believe it is a legitimate botch. He was not the right man to be in the ring. But because of the relaxed rules, it's all very
I remember what you
muddy.
mean now.
Yeah,
I remember what you mean now. Yeah,
watch it back, because it does not look like it was meant to happen. But watch how eloquently, it's a big word for you there, DJ. I know you like your big words. How eloquently he fixes it to make it seem like it was all part of the storyline.
Yeah, that's a pro right there, knowing how to improvise on the spot, dude.
And it is not a knock on any of the other guys, because they can be fantastic wrestlers. I'm a big fan of Kip Sabian as a performer. I know Orange Cassidy can work. Chuck Taylor's a vet in a lot of ways, and I've always liked his work as well. You can tell they're good workers, but Miro has the experience of what to do on the fly when you're on a worldwide stage.
Boom.
That was the last thing I really wanted to say. I'm sure there was something I forgot there as well. But
let's get to the best match on the show, bro.
I think it's agreed upon with everyone. A
unanimous
sleeper match. Huge. Well, actually, I know it's not unanimous because I know what
Mr.
is. Huge sleeper. But you know what? I always had a feeling this was going to deliver. Something about this match from the start, and I could tell when they rebranded the name of the match. Originally, they said the winner gets the loser's Q1 earnings. That's a mouthful. So what happens when I tune into this? They're calling it the big money match, and I was like,
very good.
I was like, oh yeah, we've got an improvement here. I can feel this match. Something's going to deliver, and boy, oh boy, did it deliver.
Yes.
I'm going to.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm chomping it.
Okay,
I'm chomping.
California, you can start. You can
No,
start.
you should go first, Mono. Go
No,
first.
look, I will let California start. He's
No,
chomping at the
no, he
bit.
can repay. No, he can repay the favor that I gave
Yeah,
him before.
I will go back to last because I do want to hear everyone's perspective on this because I was the first person that watched this match, and going in, I wanted to see how many of you actually repeated the sentiment that I was thinking because I really thought this was, in terms of a match, we can get into the cinematic later. In terms of a match of the night. So,
Yeah.
California, you start this off.
All right, bro. I'm excited for this one because I didn't know anything about Hangman Page. I don't know anything about him. I assume he was a part of that clique with the Young Bucks and Kenny, etc. So I was like,
he was.
I probably won't like him. That's what I thought. Then I saw the build for it. And, I saw that he was a bit of a drinker or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, hopefully this is some sort of hokey shit. And then there's a point I want to make before I get to the match. Tony and JR on commentary really make this better to watch. If it was the WWE's commentary, I wouldn't be able to handle a lot of it.
Yeah.
They need Tony and JR there for years to come, as far as I'm concerned. I know JR's older and a bit more tired in his voice, and he doesn't shout and carry on like he used to. But the banter with them is just so great to listen to, and it just makes something that I'm not really enjoying better because they're there. If Corey Graves and Michael Cole were doing this commentary, I would probably have maybe turned it off and been like, sorry guys, I can't fucking do this review.
That
say something, Jack?
Yeah, fucking Tony and JR's like commentary is fucking hilarious. I remember I think it was earlier in the show. JR said, Tony said someone was a POS. Or someone said POS.
Oh yeah, then they were doing.
And then JR was like, "Oh, LOL, Tony."
Yeah,
and Tony was like, "WTF?"
Yeah, it's like they're just good buddies. I like it.
It's like two dad jokes one after another. Yeah. So look, Hangman Page is taller than I thought he would be and in better shape than I thought he would be, so I am cool with him.
Yep.
I also thought when I'm looking at the crowd, I'm like, God, surely they could have got a few more fans in that building. I guess their COVID shit's really bad.
Well,
over there.
I mean, in particular, that's a pretty bad area for. I mean, obviously now there's getting vaccinations and stuff out there and stuff. And if you're in the US and you know more than we do, let us know. But from what
Florida
we've heard
is like one of their
hotspots,
big hotspots for it. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why when it was announced that they got like special privileges to continue doing this, there was a bit of an uproar because of the fact that it's in a centralized hotspot. But continue.
So another thing that I'd noticed when Hangman had his fingers jammed at one stage, and I think Hardy was biting his fingers. We've already seen someone bite someone's fingers in the show, so maybe just leave one biting of the finger in the show. But when it was happening, he wasn't screaming. Now, I guarantee you, if I put any of your fingers in my mouth, firstly, it'll be quite sexy. But secondly, if I was biting, you would be screaming. Yeah. Like that shit hurts. So he wasn't screaming. That's the one thing that I noticed. Just a small thing. He hit a Death Valley driver and Matt kicked out. And I'm like, who kicks out of a Death Valley driver? Matt is quicker now than he was in WWE. For some reason, he seemed to like move around a lot better. Maybe he's cut a bit of weight or something like that. But I was really impressed with Matt in this match. Hangman Page doesn't rely on as much bullshit as others in AEW. He paces his matches better. It's not just spot. He actually just lets it breathe a little bit here and there. And I know something that Jack, you had said earlier in the day that you hate Excalibur on commentary. I didn't actually hate him at all. I thought he was doing a pretty good job.
I feel like he's got a very, very good broadcasting voice, though, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't annoyed by anything that he said on this show. So
he was bearable this time.
It's not the things that he says. It's just when you go to the camera shot of the commentary desk,
and he's got that mask.
I'd be fine if we didn't have a commentary shot that had him involved. If he wasn't involved in that whatsoever, I'd be perfectly fine.
See,
but they're looking at him in the mask, and I get that he's got the history, but commentators are meant to be the ones commentating, and you'd think that someone in the mask probably can't watch the match very well to begin with, let alone.
To reiterate that point, man, like fucking, and Carl said this before, like that it might mean a lot to him. Like I listened to his interview with it was Chris Van Vliet like ages ago, and no, like he told the story behind the mask, and I get it, and I know the story as well, and that's why I can accept it, but I don't like it. I hate it. just like you guys. But I can accept it. I can
Yeah.
live with it. It's not hurting anyone. It makes him happy.
Yeah, it's not
And-
like it's
and
gonna
honestly-
end the show.
Honestly, it does make him a bit unique. At the end of the day, no other commentator is wearing a mask, so it is what it is. I mean, yep, it's annoying, but it means a lot to him. So fucking power to him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fucking more to him.
I'll finish my point. I'm almost there. So now I'm starting to understand what Adam Hangman Page means.
Yeah.
He has a move called the Deadeye, I believe.
Yep. Yeah. Which is
He's a Red Dead fan.
Yeah.
Now I'm pumped, bro. I
Yeah.
fucking love Red
He's
Dead
the
Redemption.
cowboy man.
Yeah, I like that shit.
Yeah, he does cowboy shit, man.
He does cowboy
Another-
shit.
Another thing I said again, Hardy's impressing me. Private Party came out, and I'm just like, they're just so fucking lame. They're just like a poor man's fucking.
No, well, do you know the connection between Hardy and Private Party?
No, I don't get it.
So Hardy has joined in as their almost like a manager. But
Right,
he's
okay.
Big Money Matt, so he actively tells them that anytime they win, he's getting a large, profitable sum of their cash. But they just want to pick up wins. So he's pocketing off of their success, and he tells them to their face, and he just says, "Yeah, no, it's gonna work. It's gonna work out for you guys in the long run." It's really well done, and it taps into Ring of Honor and Impact. Matt Hardy.
Well, I just think that they are a poor man's Street Profits.
And
I don't even really like the Street Profits.
yeah.
Straight profits.
So they got me. This is the first time in the show where they got me with that first near fall when he hit the twist of fate in
yeah,
the middle of the
man.
ring. I was like, oh man, I really thought it was over. Okay, now I'm sold on this match. The finish was okay. I like that finisher that he does. I think it's pretty cool. It just Matt just need to be a little bit closer to him, but you know it would be really difficult to utilize that.
Is this the slingshot lariat?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty cool move. It just
It is.
I don't know. The person that's taking it needs to be just a little bit closer, but that's okay. I don't get why the Dark Order help, but that's because I don't watch the show. But whatever. And when Matt lost the match, I need a close up of his face freaking out that he's lost all that fucking money, and they didn't do that. I mean, fucking hell, people do react when they lose. And when it's something as important as all of those earnings, you want to see the look on his face. I know that there was a celebration with Hangman and the Dark Order, but you want to see Matt fucking upset for at least a second to get the payoff of seeing him upset because he's a heel. I'm done. Up to you guys.
Before you sign yourself off, I do want to mention, just to see if this changes your opinion on Hangman Adam Page. At the post-show press conference, he announced that he may spend it on a lawnmower, he may spend it on himself, but in fact, he'd rather spend it on other people. So he looks like he's going to donate that to charity, to the homeless people of Jacksonville.
Very good. I like him. I'm
Okay.
That's nice.
that's what I was saying the whole time.
No,
I like him.
I know you do,
really
but
like
I
him.
also know that you like the context of a character, and obviously he is a face and stuff like that. But cowboys would usually get their winnings for themselves and all that kind of stuff. I do appreciate charity.
Yeehaw.
I do appreciate charity. Don't get me wrong. I will go next. I'm going to cut myself in, and I'll let you guys finish afterwards. I'm already talking.
Just so you know, we're already at 10 p.m.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about
We're,
time.
It's all right. It's
We
all right.
just
We'll
need to-
get there. We'll get there.
we're almost there.
Hangman Adam Page is probably going to be the big star of AEW when it comes to talking about in the long run of AEW for whatever their tenure may be. I think Adam Page, and I wasn't originally behind him during his first match for the title, but that was in after he won the Battle Royal and whatever. He's really there. I feel like that's the AEW pet project. There's a lot of long-term storytelling around Hangman from when he first got booted from the Elite. The drinking problem started, which is still a thing continuing on, and all this other stuff. Yep, we're talking about drinks, fellas. Yep, that's fucking tight.
Yeah, we're having
There's
drinks,
a
boys.
lot of a long-term build in Adam Page, and they've done that very well. I think everyone here is a fan of Adam Page. I don't think anyone doesn't particularly like him.
He's good.
Yeah, I can get behind him as a credible superstar in the AEW fold. Matt Hardy looking fantastic. Again, I've always been a fan of Matt as well. Matt. I've always.
Oh,
Matt.
Oh,
Matt.
Oh, Matt.
Immediately
Jeff.
starts it just by saying Matt in a weird accent. Matt is in a lot better shape. He's getting used to having that hip fused by the look of it, because obviously that spinal, the lower spine and the hip has all been fused together, so it's why he gets up at a weird angle every time he gets off the mat. I think now that he's lost some weight, he's getting into better shape. He can slam a tornado, he can dry up a sea, but I do feel like this better shape has improved him overall, being able to move quicker around the ring. I'm so glad that Matt Hardy was involved in one of the matches of the night. It does. It also shows, and this is something that's the overriding feeling of this pay-per-view, the older guys seem, obviously they're more experienced, that may be the case, obviously. You could tell that the older guys knew what they were doing when it came to TV time. Miro capitalized on everything he needed to do. You've got Matt Hardy that by no means in 2021 should he be having the best match on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love him to death, but there's no reason why he should be having the best.
He
match on the show.
He shouldn't be. He
No.
shouldn't be.
No,
But he is.
And and that it shows because of the fact that all these older guys have that experience and they know how to adapt themselves. Matt Hardy shouldn't be over in AEW after how it started, because it started out terribly, and he admitted that. And yet somehow he salvages what's going on, turns it into gold. And right
Find
now,
something.
after this particular match, it's not talked. I don't see it talked about that often on socials because of the ending. But this was a really good match, and I'll move on from there.
Yeah, I'll go.
Nice.
Yeah, this was match of the show for me. I echo basically a lot of the sentiments you guys had. I think Matt Hardy looked tremendous. He clearly was motivated, excited, engaged with what was going on. I like the fact that this rivalry was actually about money, because like the only things that really matter in wrestling is the money and the miles. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah.
I like the idea that there's actually a story about the monetary gains that result from this business.
Yeah.
So that gave it a credible reason for there to be a fight. And then, you know, Adam Page is probably, in my opinion, one of only about four or five homegrown stars that I think AEW has. Darby being another.
Well, he's not really homegrown though.
I consider him homegrown because this is
In terms of American national television.
He's
right?
in. That's what matters. Like, that's why I'm going to clarify that as well. It only matters what someone's done on TV before. It doesn't matter anything else.
And it does matter specifically America because that's the target audience at this point.
Yeah,
His stuff in New
that's right.
Japan may have been great and stuff like that, but in reality, it's a completely different audience.
So yeah, in this particular match, they actually had false finishes that were earned. They didn't do everything under the sun. Adam Page kicked out of a twist of fate, but that was because the twist of fate was delivered on the outside, and then they did one on the outside, so that wasn't a kick out there, and then he kicked out of the other one just barely, so it was good. And the other thing was, Matt looked great. The counter into the side effect was fucking phenomenal.
Very good. Very good.
It was.
Yeah.
And I liked the fact that, you know, he went for the buckshot lariat a few times. He did the roll, but then it didn't happen. You know, it's like putting that thing in your brain of like, all right, this is what we're looking out for. You know, is it going to be?
Yeah.
And I'll also say tremendous work by both guys. I'm now invested in Adam Page. I want to see him succeed. I like that he has a gimmick, but it's not too out there, but it still is a gimmick.
And it's gotten so over. It's gotten so over.
And I'm going to take the time to say this while it's still on my mind. Okay? I complain a lot about shit that certain wrestlers do, like the fucking rebound lariat that Dean Ambrose does, where he goes into the ropes and comes back out, and other moves like that. This one is an exception to that rule of me not liking shit like that, because in this case, you can credibly believe that fucking the role that he does in actually provides him with some momentum going into the lariat. So it makes sense. So it's not just bullshit like, oh, I'm arbitrarily going to bounce into the ropes and come back with a clothesline, and the guy's just going to stand there and let me do it.
Yeah.
You know? Very good match. The best of the show. Looking forward to seeing what both guys do in the future. Would love to see Matt Hardy get himself a world title shot on an episode of Dynamite or something like that.
Fuck yeah, I can back that. As for me, man, look, I love me a bit of Matt. I feel
My
like
dog is burning alive, man.
that is fucking awful.
Jeff.
Never do that again. This was for me the dark horse of the pay-per-view. Unintended. Yeah. Adam Page, like I'm not too familiar with. Like I'm more familiar with his BTE work. That's more so just because I don't really watch too much AEW these days. At the beginning, obviously, like he was just sort of in the championship scene in the main event. But he was just more of a generic, like, you know, oh, he's this guy from the indies. Didn't know too much about him back then, but nowadays I feel like now that he's more established, he's been in AEW for a long time, well, since the start, obviously. I feel like there's just he's just as over time he's just evolved, just per se. And this cowboy shit's gimmick that he's been doing for a fair while now is fucking awesome. And getting to the to the promo as well. Like I thought the promo told a very, very good story. Like for someone that doesn't watch Dynamite, I was able to know the story going into the match. And that's going back to the women's match earlier. That was the same thing. Like I didn't know anything about that match going into it, but the promo was good enough to the point where it got me invested and it had me interested. I knew what was going on. And yeah, this one was no different. So I will commend on AEW on the fact that they do most of their promos, most of their promos pretty well, and they can get the fan that doesn't watch every week on Wednesdays to actually know what's going on in the match that they're about to watch. Yeah, I also thought this was funny because probably about a week or two ago, I was listening to Jim Cornette and he was talking. And actually, this was before that they announced the financial stipulation. And Jim Cornette and Brian Last were saying that they should, like, wrestling needs more matches where people's like yearly earnings are on the line of you know, monthly earnings, whatever. And
real world stakes.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And then a week later, this is on. Like this happens, and it's just like, well, shit, these guys must be listening to Jim Cornette. Because they spoke about it and they gave many examples, because apparently back in the day that was a huge thing. Like money was on the line a lot.
Yeah,
and
no, it was.
And this is back going back to the 80s and the 70s. Apparently that was what was on the line if it wasn't a championship. So I think this is actually a really, really good stipulation. It really isn't much. It's not much.
No.
You don't even need the money. Doesn't even need to be fucking real.
Well,
like this could be just.
You look at, like, you've had the competitions where it was like Slam, all these different kinds of opponents. Anyone that was over like 400 pounds, they would seem to run back in the day. If you slam them, you win 10,000, 100,000, whatever it may be. Those matches, and I believe they should have been in wrestling for a very long time. It should never have left, because in reality, part of being a wrestler in one of the main ones, we'll take for this example WWE, part of the fact of being on the main roster, being the top talent, is you earn some fucking dosh for this shit. We know that these guys are well off. We've seen all the reality TV things. So as soon as a quarter one earnings thing, you know that they're already earning in one quarter like 3 times the amount that we're earning on a regular basis. So this shit is just a boost. All these guys are family people. They money, win or loss, regardless, they're looking for some cash in their pocket. Either a championship around their waist or some cash in their pocket for the issue.
Some cold, hard cash.
Yeah, man. So, like, why would you not fight for that? Cash.
Yeah,
very good.
I believe that was it was a really good one. But we go from really good to playing Sonic the Hedgehog. Because we've got a bunch of people fighting over a gold ring. And fuck, I mean...
Whoa. It's a brass ring.
Bro. No. This is Sonic the Hedgehog's fucking ring.
I love that I didn't even get to talk about the match.
I saw it. I saw the fucking ring. And immediately... I know it's the brass ring, Bestia.
It was a fucking donut.
It looked like a really convoluted, obscure, non-canon stage of Sonic the Hedgehog, where you had all these competitors running for this brass ring that just was just... I'm not going to get into too much detail. All I'm saying is I did not like the match. I couldn't care about the match as soon as there was a Sonic golden ring involved. Cody had too much pyro. Cody has somehow managed to turn himself from being the underutilized. Literally, he had the entire Dusty Rhodes story going for him in the WWE, where he was a talented young man who could have achieved great things but was underutilized, like just wasn't appreciated enough, and somehow he's managed to turn himself into this succubus, this absolute piece of shit that just sucks the fun out of the event. How does he manage to have 20?
He's
it's like
self-unaware, dude.
I know it's like there's no self-awareness.
He has no
whatsoever.
idea. He has no idea how bad he makes himself look with the things he says in interviews and the way that he's always fucking involved in every fucking thing.
I know I've started with California a lot, but the main reason I want to start with California here is because of the fact I want you to tell me what you thought of Cody Rhodes' entrance.
Before we begin, I shotgun the barbed wire match.
To go first?
Yep, I won't go first till then.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, that's fine. Look, okay. They did a little promo video beforehand before I talk about the entrance because it's right there. The note is right there. So this is for the faith of the revolution.
Like, what even is that? What even is that?
To be the faith of the revolution.
Who gives a fuck?
Look, me personally, I found the brass ring to be a clever fuck you to Vince McMahon because he's always talking about the brass ring. It just so happens that it looked like a big donut, and it was kind of it looked hokey, it looked a bit silly, and but I still think reaching for a brass ring was a clever fuck you. Like the meaning behind it was right, but maybe the execution made it look a bit silly. Anyway,
execution was
so before I get to Cody, Platinum Max Caster is not hard looking enough for the gimmick that he's got. And I've got also written "fuck up, you stupid cunt" as well. I don't like him.
Before you go into that, that's not really his fault. He probably shouldn't have been in that match to begin with. He is a part of a tag team. He's a tag team wrestler.
Yeah, whatever. Luke, I don't care.
No, the Acclaimed are a rapper-based tag teams. They come out, they do
Don't care.
They have actually. They as a team, they have a lot more chemistry. Tony Khan is hot as fuck on Max Caster as a singles competitor.
All right, I don't care what Tony thinks about Max Caster.
I'm just saying, I don't like. You need to watch them as a tag team. The Acclaimed are a good tag team. Max Caster
now that you've said that, I'm going to actively avoid any match that they're in. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I see Lance Archer come out with Jake the fucking Snake, and I'm like, okay, that's dime. Okay. Look at this big motherfucker. This guy's definitely winning this match. Then Cody. He gets his own entranceway. Everyone else comes out from the sides, but he gets to come out from the pearly gates of heaven.
So annoying.
Like he thinks he's so important, like he's the Triple H that gets the important entrance.
Man, the fucking champion didn't even come out for that.
You're not the Triple H. Cody, you are not the Triple H. You are not Triple H. You are nowhere near him. Just because you're a VP doesn't mean that you get to give yourself all the good shit and not think that people like us are going to fucking notice that you're giving yourself the good shit. You're doing it constantly over and over again. Yeah. Fuck you.
We see you, and it's enough, Cody.
By the way, thank you, local boy, our boy Alex, for
rating
our channel.
For the raid, brother.
Man. He doesn't.
Thank you,
man.
I know
Thanks,
he doesn't.
Thanks, Alex.
I know he doesn't agree with your opinion on Cody Rhodes. I don't think.
I don't care. It's fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but I just think that he's very, as we've said, self-unaware, that he's just throwing himself at every single little thing that's happened in AEW. Every important debut, except for a couple, he's been involved. He's involved with everyone. And I know for a fact that, Jericho got to work with Tyson, so I'm working with Shaq. I'm working with Shaq. Okay, well, let's. I mean, I'm just making this up, but I reckon that the Shaq thing was supposed to happen at Revolution. I reckon it was, but Cody's like, no, I want to do something else at Revolution. We'll put that on TV just beforehand. Why would the Shaq match not be on pay-per-view?
I want to be involved in our first Money in the Bank style match as well.
Yeah, I need me. I need it to be all about me, and I'm going to get to that very soon about how he made it about him. Okay, but the entrance, incredibly arrogant. I don't know if he's a heel or baby face. He acts like he's a baby face.
He's meant to be a baby face. He is.
Okay, that's again self-unaware. You look like your head's up your own ass with what you do, bro. So Ethan Page was the guy that was the person. Yep, you were right, Monet. I didn't know who he was. He was decent enough as a wrestler in the match or whatever, but I don't know anything about him. But I found it funny when he came out and Tony said, "How about that?" And then JR said, "Tell us a bit about him, Excalibur." Obviously, neither of them knew shit about him either.
Straight to the young gun.
No,
like
man.
none of the old guys know him, but
Ethan Page is a hot prospect. He's the guy. I don't know if I told you guys about this
Hot
originally.
prospect.
Hot prospect. He's the guy that got.
Hot.
He made the Karate Man gimmick, and on his last appearance with Impact, they did the overall final edit of his thing that he sent them to say this is Karate Man versus Ethan Page. His filming, his idea, his project. Sent it over to Impact. They edited it down to this fucking awful thing, and he left Impact. Now he's in AEW. Huge potential talent. We'll see how he goes. I'm a big all ego mark.
Luke, I appreciate your sidebars, but you keep interrupting with
Sorry,
your little sidebars.
Sorry, my friend.
Okay, I like a good sidebar, but everyone's pussing out on the ladder bumps in this match.
yes, no shit.
Everyone's pussing out. Like,
Oh my God.
I think a ladder was coming down on someone, and like the hands were up when they bumped, and I'm like, man, commit. You got to commit. You got to commit.
If you're
Jack
going
Evans,
to do it, do it.
Yeah, Jack Evans in number 10 needed to fuck off. I don't know why number 10 would come out and not take the boombox with him when he left. Like, I don't know why he would just leave it there to be utilized if he's coming out to. I don't even know why he came out, but that's again probably my fault for not knowing. All Ego kicking Cody in the gut was sick. Fuck you, dickhead.
That was so good, that spot.
And then I said, that is not a boombox. Give me a JVC kaboombox, cunt. Max Caster bitched out on catching Penta. Fuck you. Okay. Props to Cody there because he made sure that the dude fucking was safely caught there, and Caster just fucking flew. Like barely even helped out catching him. And the stupid fuckheads with their stupid spot when Lance was in between the ladder trying to fucking get this thing. Just get it done with already. Jesus Christ. And at that point, that made me think to myself, I hate ladder matches now. I hate them. Because even WWE, it's not just AEW. This is the first time I've seen them do a ladder match. But every time I see a ladder match now, I could just see them all just like waiting by the ring apron, looking over the top, waiting for their next spot. It's all about spot, spot, spot. It's never really about the what am I thinking of here? The suspense of climbing the ladder. It's
the drama.
It's supposed to be about the drama, the suspense of climbing that ladder, and this guy just cut him off again. They did it a few times, but man, I by that point I was already out of the match, and I'm like, I think I hate this match more than anything on the show. Lucky they had that fucking Casino Royale shit. And then here we go. Cody gets a fucking destroyer on a ladder. Oh gosh. The hero, he's taken backstage. He's in so much pain. He's got a team of people working on him, and they just won't leave the entranceway. Like you can see them constantly in the entranceway. It's distracting.
Yeah,
Go backstage and let's focus on the match and let us maybe forget about you for a minute.
It just reminds me of him just going like this. Hey guys, I'm still here, just in case you forgot.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm in the back here.
So annoying.
Yeah, like I'm not here right now, but I am still here.
Yeah, don't worry, you can see me.
And then it's like, Cody doesn't want to go backstage. He's such a big hero. He needs to make his triumphant run out to come back and try and win this match to be the face of the Revolution. Just to me, it's like, exactly, Luke, exactly.
I'm just laughing my fucking It's literally like that.
So he comes racing back out like the big hero. I've written this match sucks. Nothing seemed like it was by chance. It was just all shithouse fucking spots with bad timing, very clunky the whole way through. Again, you know, I keep getting annoyed about Cody, how he was hanging around the entranceway. It was
So
annoying as fucking distracting. Scorpio Sky's frog splash was the first spot that looked decent in the match on top of the fucking dude who was on the ladder.
Scorpio's good.
And then when
Scorpio looked good.
Scorpio went through that ladder, it was sick, but it was so fucking dangerous. Yeah, and the big hero Cody, here he comes. Fuck off, you poxy cunt. He's oh, look at his heroic performance. Oh my god, fuck off. And then he eats a fucking superplex, eats shit. The blackout on the ladder was fucked. Come on, Lance, get it together. In comes Jake Roberts. I'm popping. It was a bit awkward though, because there just wasn't enough space.
I loved it.
I
loved it. I loved
and
it.
then here comes cocksucker Cody. Come on, hero. His little Cody cutter was shit. And then Penta fucking lays this sick chair shot on the cunt. And I was like, okay, fuck yeah. But also, I want this to end already. Scorpio Sky winning, I kind of felt that was a little, I don't know, like he's good, but I really thought Lance should have won. Because I would have thought that the whole Lance, Jake versus Darby and Sting thing would have been made sense because of Jake's past with Sting. And the promos would have been sick. But no, random dude goes after him next. I'm sure that they will just do the match on Dynamite and we'll be done with it.
It's for the next Dynamite.
And finally, of course, you know how I've been complaining about they didn't do a shot of Matt after the match. They didn't do these close-ups of things that needed to happen. Of course, we finally get a little shot right at the end of Cody.
Yeah.
Hero Cody and they had to make sure that they got that shit in there, didn't they? Oh, you got to make sure that we come in tight on Cody at the end there because of the heroic effort that he put in. Fuck you, Cody.
That's just
Fuck
so
you. It wasn't about you, cunt. Fuck you.
No, it's really not about Cody, and I will get on to everyone else to go next, but he has to be involved with every single first moment that happens in AEW. Obviously, he couldn't be involved with the world title thing because that would be too obvious. But everything else that's happened, you've got Shaq that's come in. You've got all these big matches that are happening. The first Money in the Bank style match. All these moments that are happening.
Bro, I wouldn't mind if he had no control of creative and he just happened to be a part of all these first. Like Shawn Michaels is in the first Hell in a Cell match. He was in the first ever ladder match. All this stuff. He wasn't booking. But, you know, Cody's a part of booking. So he's inserting himself into all these things. Continue.
Well, that's the thing. If you're really focusing on putting on a good product, your main objective is not to get yourself over. It's to get the stars that are going to carry the company for the foreseeable future. Because Cody now isn't as young as he was when he was first really picking up steam. I mean, he's not anywhere near retirement.
He's not even as young as his dad was when his dad first started picking up steam.
So,
he's
like,
way further back than where he thinks he is.
So he's not necessarily, he's going to wrestle for a while. He needs to remember that other people need to get that shine. And walking through the stage and getting the most pyro out of all the entrances and matches, which we will get into.
Most pyro.
This guy literally thinks he's only wrestling a few more years and then he's going to go into politics. Who's going to vote for that?
Such a good fucking
But
call.
okay, moving
on into politics.
Look, we're gonna get too stuck on this shit, okay?
That was such a good call, Luke.
It's important to know
Sorry.
that this guy gave himself the most pyrotechnics when the main event of the entire card was an exploding barbed wire death match. He had the most...
if they used all of his pyro for his entrance, then maybe the end of the show wouldn't look so fucking bad if they used it there.
They wouldn't be trending for all the wrong reasons. They would be trending for everything right. But Cody Rhodes got how much pyro? Doesn't matter. Juicy boy, take us away. Get me away from this.
Take us away, Juicy boy. Fuck you, Cody.
I need to chuck a piss.
Yeah. Look, I've never been more bored in a ladder match ever.
Yeah, horrible.
Ever. And I've seen like Junkyard Dog versus Greg Valentine from Mid-South, where it was literally a standard ladder that was tied to a rafter up there that they had to climb.
Crazy.
Never been more bored in a ladder match. Look, it did feel like Cody was trying to make it all about him. You know, like when they did the bit where he got taken out. And that hard camera shot facing the entranceway. They kept it on there for ages, so then in the background you could see the medics like tending to him and shit. Like they were really trying to fucking put it over that he's been taken out of the match.
Yeah.
But the more they did that, the more I just knew that he was coming back.
Yeah.
I liked the fact that Scorpio Sky actually won the match because, to be honest, I expected Cody to just give himself.
I really thought Cody was going to win that, so he can.
I expected fucking Cody to actually give himself the win. I'm very glad to see a guy like Scorpio Sky at this age that he is and at this point in his career finally getting some national TV recognition.
Yeah, good on him.
He would never get a chance in WWE ever.
Yeah.
Fucking yeah, and like people in the chat are sort of saying, you know, some of the reasons why. Here's the thing. I as a fan, I don't care that that's why they're doing it. I just know that it takes away from my enjoyment of the product. You know, I know that a lot of people will be like, oh, well, how can you fucking complain that they're pussying out of the ladder bumps when, like, you know, you guys aren't in that situation in the ladder match, which first of all is fucking ridiculous.
We've seen people do ladder matches and take the shit properly. Like,
people,
so do what they do. That's what we're used to.
I don't care whether they want to take lots of bumps on the ladders or not. But if you're going to do the spot, you need to understand what the landing is going to be and be committed to that landing.
I just don't.
Okay.
I don't.
The actual. Hang on, man. I just want to get my part over here. The actual brass ring itself. You know, I liked the concept, as Carl said earlier.
Yeah.
But a little bit of gold leafing, which would have costed $5 from an arts and crafts store, would have made that thing look infinitely better. And
yeah, true.
And not as shit. And yeah, just generally, this match just really felt like, even though Scorpio got his moment at the end, you know, it still felt like this is about building up Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, because what was the last shot? It wasn't him.
Look, I know that Cody Rhodes can have good matches and shit, but ever since AEW has started, it's felt like a lot of what Cody does is more about giving a big fuck you to WWE than it is about giving a fuck yeah to AEW. That's how I feel about it.
Absolutely.
And that's where I'm going to leave. You know, that's where I'm going to leave it. It was an unimpressive match by the standards of a multi-man ladder match.
And he took his last name back and gave back all those great WCW pay-per-view names that he managed to fucking get the copyright of. Yeah. So we don't get Slamboree or Bash at the Beach on AEW now because he needed his last name back.
And
I feel like it's fair for him to want the last name.
No, fair enough, but he should have had it in the first place, as far as I'm concerned.
He should have. Yeah.
I think he should have tried a little harder to keep the
before Mr. 55 kicks it off. I do want to point out how the kind of match, like the people that were in this match, Cody Rhodes in particular. When it's the TNT title, which is designed to be the mid-card title, you want to really feature the new faces of the company that are really going to push forward in the next couple of years to be the major stars. So Cody Rhodes has no business in that match.
I agree.
He
shouldn't have been in it. He was a fish out of water there. He shouldn't have been in it because he's past that point.
The issue
is all these young, hungry, new, up and coming guys, and then it's a guy that's already established.
But
he's already won the belt twice as well.
But the issue is he gave himself that match with MJF where it said was it MJF? I don't know who it was. I think actually
Jericho.
It was Jericho. It was actually Jericho. If he
and
didn't
MJF
win,
screwed him,
if he didn't win, he doesn't get a title shot again.
Oh, what a sacrifice, bro! What a sacrifice! He'll never get a shot.
That's the thing.
I bet you he still wins the belt.
Yeah,
I bet you anything he does one day.
He will. But that's the thing. You got all these guys on Dark. It's a 14-match card on Dark every single time they fucking do it.
No, isn't it like 24 matches?
Something ridiculous.
Maybe about 18.
No, something like 162 or something like that.
Man. I don't know who sits through all that.
You've got all these guys on those cards that should be vying for a shot as the TNT Championship. Get your name on the actual TV show. But again, that's my little sidebar. Mr. 55, take it away. I get so fired up about this fucking ladder match.
Yeah, how many matches we got left to go?
There's 2 after this. So I went into this match, and I'm going to keep my answers short because it is getting on. I went into this match like excited because, okay, the 3 matches I wanted to watch were the last 3 matches. Okay. So I was excited. I was keen. I love a ladder match. I love a good ladder match. And I need to stop watching wrestling with high expectations.
What are we up to now?
So I got some minor notes here that I just picked up while you guys were talking about him because I didn't write any notes live. Lance Archer sat under that ladder for way too fucking long. And also on top of that, when wrestlers are doing this, and I notice this so much, when they're doing that, slow it down.
Yeah.
Like, going like that is going to like make it just go like, like if you just go in a solid motion, you're gonna make it look good. All right.
You're
Like
talking about when he's sandwiched with the ladder, right? And he ended up
that was
like,
stupid.
dude, know what you're doing before you do it, bro.
Oh, also, sorry, one more quickly. I forgot to mention it. Biggest pop of the night for me, Jake Roberts doing the short arm clothesline.
Fuck yeah, bro.
And Jake getting super kicked and actually taking a little bump and then selling it hell well.
I'm so
like
proud of him. I'm so
Don't cut off
sick.
my fucking point.
Sorry, brother.
Sorry,
you had your point. You had your time to talk. Jake Roberts, not even Jake Roberts was my next point. So Lance Archer was just sat for the ladder match. So his sandwich was fucking far too fucking long, man. He was just sat there. Like, why wouldn't you just get out and just roll over and fucking just go out of the ring?
A lot of these guys can't improvise because someone else's spot's coming up and they can't fuck up that spot for them. I'm sure Lance is the kind of guy who can improvise, but he doesn't want to upset the other person who knows that there are important spots coming up.
I hear that. Like, I don't fully blame Lance for that. I think Lance was just in the heat of the moment. It was just shit. He didn't want to ruin the spot because these guys are much younger than Lance, man. Like, Lance knows how it is he probably knows how it is to be young, excited to be on pay-per-view. Like, I'm sure, like, this is still exciting for Scorpio Sky, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was Scorpio Sky and who was it? Who else was taking the spot? Can't remember. And, you know what I mean? Like, they just want to get their shit in.
Yeah.
So Lance is probably just being good guy, Lance. I'm going to sit here and let these kids do their thing. And that's just the way I see it. And again, you guys have reiterated it. Cody Rhodes taking the Canadian Destroyer onto the ladder. I thought that was a great spot, but
it was so hectic that he should have never returned. I mean, something like that should fucking kill you.
Here's the thing, right? So after that spot, Cody Rhodes took a superplex off the ladder. At WrestleMania 22, Ric Flair did the same thing, and he was out on a fucking stretcher.
Yeah. And when they did, and that was actually good when they did it.
Cody Rhodes essentially no-sold that fucking. No, I think the Cody Rhodes superplex was like, I mean, obviously because it's Ric Flair, it's better, but like the Cody Rhodes one was, much the same. It didn't look bad at all. And going by that logic, like if Cody Rhodes should be out of there, but then again, Ric Flair was in his 60s at the time, so fucking.
What a sick cunt.
Yeah, I know, right?
But, anyway, where are we at now?
Jake Roberts, man, like hang on, don't cut me off fucking again.
Sorry.
Jake Roberts getting clothesline was sitting in the corner though kind of annoyed me. He sat in the corner of the hard cam for a long time, and I think this is an issue with that Daly's Place location. I feel like the hard cam might be. I mean, I get it because the stage, but I feel like it might be located in a bit of an awkward spot because people are just sitting on the apron, but they're like in the corner, like. This and
just stand on the other side of the fucking.
The hard cam should just be on the adjacent side of the ring. It shouldn't be facing the entrance.
Yeah,
because it should be on. That should be off.
Yeah,
to
that
the
is
side.
weird, isn't it? Usually that doesn't happen like that. But I guess they don't want to show how empty the crowd looks.
Yeah, which is fair enough because of COVID shit.
Similar to NXT as well. At some points, they did have a stage view.
Oh, shut up, Luke! Shut up.
Anyway, I'm thoroughly disappointed with the match overall. Scorpio was the right winner, I feel. The fucking ring looked like a fucking donut. The bumps were weak as fuck. Everyone was not committing to anything, and it is what it is. It was okay. Scorpio Sky was the right winner, though. And
Where
I
are
really
you,
hope he
Luke?
wins the belt sometime.
Where are you?
Right,
Luke?
moving on. So, the next segment was the Hall of Fame worthy signing.
Oh, cool. I'll go first.
What does everyone think about Christian Cage? We're talking Christian Cage here. He had the same theme song as he was in TNA. He came out specifically with that song because he loved that song so much. The exact same theme. What does everyone think about Christian Cage being signed to AEW? I'm going to start it off with Juicy Boy.
Yeah, I'll keep bit short and sweet for time, but yeah, I think it was fucking sweet. I reckon Christian is a great talent. That's a guaranteed at least one match on every card now that's not gonna suck.
Yeah.
Because he's in it. Unlike Jericho, he can actually still fucking do it. In my opinion, based on what I saw of him in the Rumble.
Yeah.
So
we'll never not have it.
I think it was great. I think the fans complaining about him being underwhelming are just full of
them,
shit.
Dude.
So let me get this.
Disrespectful.
So, hang on. So everyone complains that it's Christian and then says, oh, they made it seem like it was going to be this great guy. I bet you if it was Brock or John Cena, they'd fucking, like, people would be going nuts that it was too much of an ex-WWE guy again. So, yeah, I liked it. And I think everyone that fucking was underwhelmed by it can just suck a fuck.
Yeah, fuck them.
Mr. 55.
Yeah, I'm just curious about how this is going to go. I'm very interested. I'm happy it's Christian. I was kind of I was also expecting kind of Bully Ray, but I think Christian was a better option. Bully Ray would do probably. I think AEW needs someone like Bully Ray though. Thoughts?
Yeah, I'd like that. Yeah.
If he's gonna wrestle full time, then yeah. But if he's
I don't really see Bully Ray fitting into that mold. I feel like if he was gonna fit into that mold, he would need a group of people with him because he would just it would just be annoying.
Oh man, bring the Dudley family back.
That'd be sick. Oh, Chubby.
We need Chubby Dudley, bro.
Chubby.
He's not even chubby
Dudley.
Anymore. He's actually lost a heap of weight, so he can't be Chubby Dudley.
Skinny. No. All right. Karlifornia, what do you think about Christian Cage being signed to AEW?
So, when it happened, I was like, I'm sorry, but you should have had Big Show come out because he was the one with the big scoop and he should have been the one to introduce him. And having Paul White doing one backstage thing, you want him out in front of that crowd. See the big presence of him and him hype up, hey guys, I got the scoop. Here he is right now, the latest signing to AEW. Just that. But instead it was just this cold, all of this, he just comes out. So my thoughts were, so it's Christian. Okay, like I didn't pop because I kind of expected it to be him because I couldn't think of anyone else.
Yeah.
Everyone was saying like, oh, it might be Kurt Angle, Batista. It's not. Kurt's done. Batista said he's happy with his retirement match at WrestleMania against Triple H. I mean, what a way to go out. It's not going to be fucking Lesnar. RVD, it's not going to be him. He's already said some disparaging things about AEW. He can't do full time anymore anyway. So I kind of felt like, it was going to be Christian. And if it was Okada, I would have been very upset.
That wouldn't have, that would have.
I wouldn't have popped at that.
That would have been false advertising if it had been Okada or anything like that.
Like, I'm sure he's a potential Hall of Famer in New Japan, but Hall of Famer means WWE, right?
When he said big time name Hall of Famer, that means that you're looking at a prominent name from the upper, mid, or upper card of WWE.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
anyway, so I just wanted to say it's bullshit that WWE let him down like that. He did a good job at the Rumble. Everyone was hyped about it. How you can bring him back and only give him 2 days notice to do it. How you can bring him back and not have a plan of attack heading towards your WrestleMania to have Christian on that card. Fuck you, WWE. Your loss is AEW's game. And it's just like Carlito as well. He did such a great job in the Rumble. How does he not have a job? He didn't get signed. It's such bullshit.
He did. He got a producing. He's doing some producing and shit.
But didn't he end up getting nothing?
I didn't hear about Carlito getting a producing role either. I
thought I heard.
He said he wanted that, but I don't think he ended up getting anything. And it's just like, okay, so why hype us up then?
Christian's Legends contract ended a couple of days after the Rumble, and it was clear that they had no intention of using him as a performer. Obviously, Christian, as he mentioned in all his post-Rumble interviews and stuff, said he's got clearance from doctors and stuff like that. Clearly got the clearance from WWE doctors to do the one-time Rumble performance. He wanted to come back full-time. He wants to end it on his own.
Have him at Edge's side. Have him at Edge's side for this story with Roman.
I would love...
I'd love to see Roman versus Christian in the main event of SmackDown or whatever it is.
They could have done Uso and Roman versus Edge and Christian in the
that pops a rating. People want to see that reunion.
Imagine even Oh, fuck
I
yeah.
know what you're gonna say, Jack. You know, Mr. 55.
And later in the year, like you could have them win the tag titles for a couple of weeks or
No.
a couple of months.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
It's-
not what I
it's-
was thinking. Not what I was thinking at all.
what were you thinking?
I'm
Alright.
talking top of the card feud between the two. They're
Oh,
both on the
we've seen
large
that already.
stages. They would have their retirement match together. Edge and Christian retiring
Nah,
in a
whatever,
match
I'll
against
take
each
that.
other would be
I
a
agree.
draw. If WWE didn't see that and they couldn't put the money into it to finance his final run, when he was cleared by all the doctors, including the WWE doctors, I'm pumped to see Christian in AEW because of the fact that Christian finally gets his final run. His last run after it was like the one more match thing after he lost the world title, he went to the IC division. As obviously we've got in the chat itself, we've got I'm a Creation mentioning Christian versus Big E. That was the match that never happened. Christian won the #1 contendership. Never got his match. You've got so much
There
to
you
play
go.
on.
Now I care about a Big E match at WrestleMania
Big
because
E-
it's against Christian. He
yeah.
never got his title
Yeah,
shot. That's great. I like that.
They're building Big E to be this next guy. Christian never got his title shot, but just was in the Rumble. How do you not book these things?
Because they don't remember this shit,
I
dude. They
know.
don't care.
That's
Yeah, and
the
they don't
WWE.
think that other people remember.
They don't
I
think
agree.
that anyone remembers. It's like Amanda Kirk
Unfortunately-
and Schwab, bro. Fans don't remember what happens from show to show.
Look, before we go any further, Mr. 55, did you have anything else to say about the Christian Cage signing? I believe you were the
No,
one
it's
that
just
said it.
it's sick, eh?
It is
Could've-
it is sick.
Rhino would have been sick too, but Rhino's an impact.
Oh man, that'd be sick. Yeah.
we need
Now-
Rhino in we need Rhino in AEW.
Shamrock would have been good too. I would have popped for
Shamrock
Shamrock.
would've
been sick.
Imagine
Yeah.
Shamrock came out, man.
Now,
Shamrock would have
yeah,
been
man.
sick.
that would have been sick. But now we move to AEW's cinematic match of the night.
Ooh.
Sting
Yeah.
and Darby Allin versus Brian Cage and Ricky Starks in a street fight. Now, the only person I did not discuss this match with was Karlifornia, so I would like him to
I'm
open
very
up the
interested.
stage.
I was
Yes.
going to suggest that.
I get
Yeah.
it again.
I'll get the next one though.
Yeah.
Uh,
55's the
yes,
next
it's
one.
fine. You can have the next one, Jack. But look, I knew that they'd already taped it before the show, but I was still hoping it was going to be just like something that was recorded in a different location and it was a full match kind of thing. So when I knew when I saw it was going to be cinematic with the car and shit, I'm like, oh no, okay, well, I'm sure it'll be good anyway. But I was just, I don't know, I'm just a little bit let down by it because I just want to see Sting in full flight to see if he can still do it, you know. In the promo video, I just kept thinking Darby is just too small. He's just so tiny. He's a baby, you know, and I'm sure a lot of people might not care about that, but I care about it. You know, if he's going to be a big deal, man, like I put him against Brian Cage. That's a squash for Brian right there. Yeah, put him against fucking Miro, Rusev. Rusev kills that guy. Come on. I don't care what you come up with. You know, Darby isn't a specialty like Rey Mysterio who uses evasions and different ways of doing things to seem legit against a bigger guy as far as I'm concerned. I don't like the skateboard. I think that's really
I
juvenile.
like it.
I think Taz should have been involved in the whole thing and not on commentary. He did a great job on commentary, but I just think why was Taz not involved? I would have loved to have seen him lock in the Taz mission on Sting at some point. That would have been something that I just wouldn't believe that I would ever see.
Yeah.
So at first I was like, okay, at least there's a ring. There's a ring.
Yeah.
But I still felt barely interested at the beginning though, because I was feeling that disappointment of not seeing it just start to finish. It's going to be quick cuts and all that. I thought Sting looked quick.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he looked actually quicker than when he was in WWE. I don't know if he's been doing some sort of different training, maybe a bit of DDP yoga or something.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
He looked really quick for whatever it was I saw. I'm sure it was shot over the course of a whole day, but still. Darby, seeing him fight Cage is like he's just too small. He's just too small to give Cage anything there. I thought Ricky Starks was really great at showing fear. When Sting was stalking him and stuff like that, I thought he was really good with that. So I'm down with Ricky Starks. The next point I had was Brian Cage is sick. and I thought already this is way better than the ladder match. So I'm starting to come around now. Taz was doing a great job on commentary. There was one point where Darby was tossed into that glass pane. And then like 2 minutes later, he's back up throwing Sting the bat. And I'm like, I thought he would have been out of the match good from this point, but all of a sudden he's up and there's no cuts all over him. He just went through a glass pane, man. Like, you get put through a plate glass window, you're going to be bleeding at least somewhere on your fucking body. If it's not your face, at least the fucking back of the shoulders and shit. Yes, Luke.
Before you continue, Ricky Starks
Another
took
sidebar.
a very quick sidebar. Ricky Starks took like 5-10 minutes to get up from a coffin drop from a large pole, and then you see Darby Allin get thrown through a glass pane into a wall, and then like 30 seconds later, he's up throwing a bat to Sting. That was something that I did not like about this match. I liked it overall, though. Continue.
Right. So when Darby did the elbow drop off the top of that platform onto was it Cage? It was Cage, right? Yeah. I was just like, that would never happen. This is an undisclosed location that looks like it's been left to fucking rot. Why would you do that elbow drop not knowing if what you were elbow dropping him onto was going to fall several flights down to your fucking death? He doesn't know that. So that's why I was taken out of that moment, because it's a dangerous fucking spot. It's a dangerous location. You don't know if you're going to die if you fucking do that. This match isn't that important. It was spectacular to watch, but at the same time, he didn't know that that thing wasn't going to fall through and they were both going to fucking be paralyzed for the rest of their lives. I just thought it was a little bit much, you know, spectacular to look at, but again, taken a bit out of it. And I wanted them to end it already at that point. It was good, but it went a little bit long for me. And then the way that it ended, I was glad with how it ended, but whatever, I wish it was live.
Now, before we continue with the next person that's doing it, I do see a lot of talk in the chat about the fact that it is Darby's gimmick that he doesn't care. But in reality, as a professional wrestler, he may not care about his welfare per se, but as a professional wrestler and as someone that's protecting themselves in this feud, part of it is winning. You know, you're proving to Team Taz that you are not... The overall thing was he did not need Team Taz to become a star on his own. Obviously, he's got Sting in his corner, but that's a different situation. The idea is he can beat Team Taz. A TNT title against Brian Cage, he's managed to win, all that kind of stuff, whatever it may be. Even though he's trying to win, if he dies, what kind of satisfaction does he get from winning?
Well, that's the point I was trying to make. Like, okay, maybe he doesn't care, but I'm sure he cares about being alive.
Yeah,
he's
like
not.
Survival.
Not he's this character that's suicidal. He wants to kill himself and doesn't care.
We're not talking about the suicidal hobo Sabu over here, Instant Classic. I know you're still in here. We're talking about a guy that wants to continue winning matches in a wrestling company. He doesn't.
I'm just saying the spot didn't make sense because like the risk was to possibly fucking die because anyone, if it was a normal actual real life situation and you were going to do that, you wouldn't know if that thing was going to cave in or not. Obviously it didn't because that's not how it was mapped out. But if you're in that situation, you haven't been to that location beforehand to double check if you're going to die if you end up somehow by happenstance be on a platform to elbow drop someone who happened to be laying there. Like, I know wrestling is wrestling and it's not real, but just the little things like that.
Suspension of belief only goes so far. And it only can go so far. And obviously everyone's like, oh, wrestling, you need to suspend your belief to be able to appreciate it. Yeah.
Suspend your disbelief.
Yeah, suspend your disbelief. I always get that mixed up. Suspend your disbelief.
Anyway, enough from me, bro. Yeah. Enough from me.
It's just why would you kill yourself? Anyway, Juicy Boy.
Yeah, I'm gonna just be quick about it.
He wants to go to bed.
I do. I got an early day tomorrow, so if I'm not there, I could get fired. Yeah, no. I actually thought that the actual filmmaking in this thing was good. Some of the filmmaking I think didn't really work in the context of a wrestling match, but whatever. It was artful. They went out of their way to kind of like set the scene really well. I thought all the I thought all the stupid shit about like with him, like getting in the ute and then he grabs the back of it with the scale. I thought that was just unnecessary. Like, are we in a serious fight or like, are we not? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I also thought the commentators being actually talking over the match was unnecessary. They really should have just had Taz, you know, if they were going to have commentary. That didn't work for me. That kind of clashed with the vibe that the rest of the match was giving off. You know, some impressive looking spots. Sting looked pretty good. He was moving pretty well. You know, the little bit that we saw, it seems like he would have been capable of doing something in a ring. You know, I think that, yeah, this is probably AEW's answer to the Boneyard match. This was pretty good for a cinematic match. You know, it's like, it's going to contribute to what I think will one day be a decent library of cinematic matches. And yeah, I actually thought that it was pretty good, but I could have done with just a bit less of the gaga. You know, you have Powerhouse Will Hobbs come in there and attack fucking Sting and shit, but he's wearing a mask. Well, why does he need to wear a mask? They already know that he's in fucking Team Taz, and Team Taz is the only people that's there because it's an undisclosed location. So that didn't make sense. It was a little bit overproduced, but overall, I think that it was good, and it was a good way to protect Sting. And regardless of whether Darby Allin gives a shit about his personal safety or not, whether it's kayfabe or shoot, it's stupid either way. It will be stupid. It's stupid for any person to have that attitude. So, yeah, good work, but you know, the kid's going to need to stop fucking trying to kill himself every match if he wants to have the long career that people seem to think he's destined to have.
I agree. My thoughts on that match, I'll be quick as well because I've got a lot to say about the barbed wire match, so I might go for it a little bit. But this match, I actually really fucking enjoyed it. When I first heard about the cinematic matches, I wasn't really sure how I would really take them. The Boneyard match was a good taster. The match with Bray Wyatt and Cena even was good. I liked it as well. This match I feel was probably the best one I've seen yet. It's going to be a hot take. I'm going to say it's probably better than the Boneyard match, just for the sake it felt like it was blurring reality. Well, not blurring reality, sort of blurring the line between the real match and a cinematic match. Like I don't feel like it cut too much, and it didn't feel like too much of a movie. I really liked all the fake Stings and Darby's coming out and sort of
and Brian Cage fucking
up.
killing those cunts.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved
Fuck yeah,
it, man.
Brian.
Like, that I'm not a big Brian Cage fan, but that was a fucking awesome Brian Cage moment. I really fucking enjoyed the window spot, but again, like you guys said, he got up far too early, man. I was just like, surely not too early, and no blood on his body. Like I was looking out for it, but still a cool visual nonetheless. Like the spot did its job. It looked great. Overall, like I thought the match was awesome. Sting looked great. I really hope that we can get a full match out of Sting before he's finished with AEW. Though.
Hopefully not with Cody. But how good would it have been if Darby was covered in blood? Like his body was covered in blood.
That would have
back
been
of
good.
His head. Like
that would have been awesome.
His face. It didn't hit his face. It hit the back of him. Imagine his whole back was just covered in blood.
And I'm surprised.
It was fake blood. That would have been cool.
I'm surprised because Darby had his hands all over the filming of this. So you'd think that if anything, he would want to get that point over.
Seems like something he probably wouldn't care about as long as it looked cool.
Yep.
Taking the bump.
I also want to mention if Jeff Hardy took the same bump, it would be the same thing. As long as he just doesn't get up too early. And that's the same thing for the jumping off the top of the thing. I was fine with that. But Brian Cage being randomly there, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and disagree with most of your points, guys. No, because he was pushed on there by Sting. Like Sting attacked him, fucked him up with the baseball bat, and pushed him on there, and he was out. Like Sting put him there.
But the thing is,
Darby was there. Darby was there like a flash, and again, like
that's the thing. Darby shouldn't have been there in the flash. He'd just been thrown by
exactly.
Two people
I know.
400 pounds over him into a brick wall. But before that, he was going through glass. There's no reason he should have been on that story and awake at the exact time that Brian Cage.
I know, I agree with that.
Maybe we're overanalyzing.
I get that.
I know we're overanalyzing, but the fact of I loved this match because of the fact that it was presented more as a fight. You had the match where at the start they were in the ring and it panned over to, I think it was Darby and Cage, it was Darby and Cage away from the ring. It panned, it did the bird's eye, the hawk eye, whatever it may be called when you're panning from one side to another.
The drone shots.
Yeah, it was a drone shot. You're right. Yeah, absolutely, drone shot. From the ring to the other side there, that was really well done. I didn't appreciate it when I first watched it. I watched the match over again and decided, you know what, that was actually a really nice shot to include. The match
and even
itself,
Shivani said it was quite incredible.
Yeah, the match itself was directed really well. As California said, Darby is very small, but Sting looked like $1 million here for a guy that was nearly paralyzed a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And I really hope, because of how well he was running around, he was getting those moves in, he was doing everything. I have high hopes that we will see a live match from Sting soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
That's the only thing we've got. But, and as everyone, I'm looking at Juicy Boy and Mr. 55 in particular that want to go to bed. We are at our main event of the evening, people.
Oh, here we go, boys.
Now, Mr. 55 is starting this one off. Let me quickly do a brief description of the matchup. An exploding, barbed wire death match.
I'm itching to fucking...
Jon Moxley, the 2020 Wrestler of the Year, versus Kenny Omega, and correct me if I'm wrong, the 2019 Wrestler of the Year in a barbed wire death match. 3 sides of the 4-sided ring. The one side that's on the ramp is not included in this, but 3 sides of the ring were wrapped with barbed wire on each rope. We had a plank of wood wrapped in barbed wire in, I think, 2 corners altogether. One side of the ring, maybe 2, had the plank on the outside with the barbed wire and explosives on the outside, as well as a 30-minute timer. If it got to 30 minutes, the ring explodes. If the match continues, it is 1 fall to a finish. Mr. 55, as the guy that was the most invested in this match and the guy that was only really eager to do this review because of the barbed wire exploding death match, we know you went into this eager. What happened?
I'm going to start this off by saying I'm a fucking deathmatch connoisseur. When I was in grade 5, I used to watch CZW with Charlie.
Yeah.
We were big CZW marks when we were fucking 10, 11 years old.
Tournament of Hate.
So you can imagine I'm very desensitized to deathmatch wrestling these days.
Yeah.
So going into this, I was very interested to see how a exploding barbed wire deathmatch would go on a pay-per-view on a national promotion. I've watched the Anita death matches 100 times over, obviously, over the years. Incredible shit. If you haven't watched them, go watch them. So I had high hopes for this match because of also, if you remember their unsanctioned match at Full Gear 2019, that was probably the best match AEW to this day has still put on. Like, that match was fucking just...
You could believe it.
I still put that up there with Triple H and Cactus Jack at Rumble 2000. That's a big call, I know, but I put it up there with that. Even with the fake
too big of a call, bro. Too big of a call.
I know that's a hot take, but man, all right. So I loved Kenny Omega's attire for the start. I'm not a fan of Kenny though. Let's put that out there. I fucking hate Kenny Omega, and I'm not a big fan of Jon Moxley either. I don't know, man. Just fucking both. But with that being said, like I'm a sucker for gimmick matches, so I was always invested in this from the get go. And
yeah, let's all do
fuck
it.
That shit.
Let's all do it.
I'm sorry, Alex. I know you're a big fan. Bang. But I don't know, man. I can't do it. As for the match itself, for a start, I actually wish the 3 ropes that had the barbed wire on them were just barbed wire ropes. They did not need the normal ropes there. There was no need for that. The actual other side there being the normal ropes so they could get out and grab the trash can full of weapons was fine, but there needed to be like at least another trash can there full of shit. I feel like this match is also lacking glass because of modern deathmatch wrestling. Like, there's always fucking glass and light tubes. I feel like at least a couple of light tubes would have topped everything off.
Just the idea,
I feel like
this match lacks glass.
I mean, come on, man.
You
I
needed some of
agree.
those light tubes
I
on
agree.
those boards in the corner.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
needed light
Because
tubes
that
on
would have
boards,
made a great
yeah.
effect when they landed on it
Too-
with the
we're
dust flying up.
We're too accustomed to Fire Pro, man.
And light tubes aren't not gonna kill anyone. So like they don't hurt. Go watch my death match with Dan Zeppelin, and you'll see it for yourself. But no, it's I don't know, man. I just feel like that match could have definitely used light tubes. I know that's a hot take, but exactly, Ali, local boy. There was too much barbed wire. Needed more variety. Like a table could have been. I reckon a table spot could have been nice. A light tube or two, and just a bit more variety. But I actually really like the fucking match. The paradigm shift off the apron was sick. I thought the finish was fucking disgusting. Like the one wing and angel onto the chair, like the setup chair, that was just fucking feral. I thought the match was probably as picture perfect as you could have done it with all circumstances and all the space and room that they had. I feel like not a 5-star match, but pretty fucking close. It was good for what it was. But
I wonder what Meltzer's going to give it.
you fucking start hitting those warnings and you start getting a bit nervous
Ah.
and you're just like, oh shit, like
Well, you know what?
Well, you
this
know
ring's
why.
gonna fucking explode, and you're just like,
Here we
know
go. Oh, here we go. Oh my God, here we go.
all right. And then it's like, oh, the commentators are counting it down, like, oh, 20 minutes left, and these guys got to do it. And then the warning counter starts hitting, and John Moxley starts freaking out. He doesn't know if it's 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute. He doesn't fucking know, and he's trying to hit anything he can to get a fucking pinfall. He doesn't fucking know. He's freaking the fuck out because this fucking explosion could fucking end his life or end his career, whatever who knows? He could fucking lose a leg. And he fucking, he starts freaking out. 5 minutes comes down. All right. They don't know yet. The warning alarm is turned off now. All right. Get down to a minute. They start counting down on the stage. All right. Shit's getting fucking real. The match is already over. The Good Brothers are out here. All right. John Moxley's handcuffed. All right. He's fucked. All right. We get the gist. All right. It's a good visual. Everything's fucking going great. Like, this is awesome. All this shit's great. The exploding barbed wire bat was fucking sick. I loved it. 10. 9. Here comes Eddie Kingston and all these fucking people. All right, Eddie Kingston gets in the ring. This makes sense. Our friends in CZW. All right, we've got the history there. This makes fucking sense. 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh shit, Eddie Kingston's got to jump on John Moxley. Oh fucking hell. Oh my god. He's going to sacrifice himself for John Moxley. Oh my god, he's jumping on top of him. Is that it? The fuck?
What's that? Yeah, this yeah.
Ridiculous. All of us
That's what it was. That's what it ended up being.
It was like,
It's like when Billy Gunn at the Hall of Fame had the Super Soaker, and he's pumping the Super Soaker, and he goes to shoot it, and then he drizzles out.
Yeah.
it was so fucking pathetic and embarrassing, and it made me legitimately embarrassed to be. Right. 3 hours before the match started, they posted the rules on the pay-per-view, and I took a screenshot of it and posted on my Instagram, just being like, oh yeah, like fucking yeah.
Then you deleted it, right?
I deleted it after the match. Hey, I was so fucking
Like
embarrassed.
yeah, I'm just gonna delete that. Yeah,
Pretend that never happened. Yeah.
just sit back down in a dark room with nothing on, just quietly, just like really upset, just like.
I was genuinely nervous on that countdown. I genuinely felt eerie. Like I was like, holy fuck, like they're actually going to do this. And then I was just like, when that first bit went off and then the boom, and I was just like, all right, here we go. And then nothing
next?
fucking happened.
What's gonna happen next?
Man, what a
Yeah.
nightmare, bro.
And
what a
Eddie Kingston's
nightmare.
laying there like he's fucking dead. And I'm just like,
And that's what gets into the worst part, because Tony Khan has come out saying, "Oh, Kenny Omega."
Hey, well,
done
let's not
bomb."
get to that yet. Let's not get to that yet.
I'm guessing
let's
you
save
guys
that.
wanna,
Let's save that.
Okay, you know what? It's clear that someone
That's
wants to
all I
make
gotta
their
say.
point. If someone wants to
That's all I
make their
gotta
point here, California, the host of the most, I'll let you speak.
All right, so I wrote down, here we go, the main event. Fucking hell. This better be fucking good for me to sit through all
Did
this.
someone say wet queef?
I very lightly heard that.
Didn't hear it.
Really?
So I was,
Devastating.
Do
I
another
was
one.
like,
Do another one.
Do another
so-
one. Well, I need to get prepared.
No, do another one.
everyone shut up, okay?
Go on.
So at this point, I kind of thought to myself, hang on, the Young Bucks were baby faces earlier. I thought they were with Omega a few weeks ago. That was just the first thought that went through my mind when he made his entrance. But also, I liked the video beforehand. I liked that Onita was in it. But for fuck's sake, give us a fucking nameplate. Not everyone's going to know who he is. Right? Fucking barbed wire, exploding deathmatch legend, whatever his first name is, Onita. Just have that at the bottom. There was no nameplate. I didn't like that. Justin Roberts was wearing his dad's coat for the ring announcements. I liked seeing Moxley's entrance. He's wearing a leather jacket. He's taking a swig of hard liquor. Very nice. The referee was dressed as a beekeeper.
I feel like the referee should look like Tin Man from Wizard of Oz.
He looked like a moron, like dressing up as someone from Breaking Bad for Halloween. Kenny should have had his hair in a ponytail because it's a barbed wire death match. Someone with long hair is going to think, I better tie my hair up. That's just psychology right there. He's a good heel champion, but he was looking a little soft as far as I was concerned walking out there. So I kind of felt like when I look at the setup that there wasn't enough barbed wire. I felt like I've seen a TNA barbed wire massacre. I want to see more barbed wire if this is the most hellacious match that we're going to see in 2021 on pay-per-view. More barbed wire. More. When they first sent Moxley into the ropes and there was an explosion, I wasn't impressed.
No. Really?
I thought more smoke and dust or whatever needed to be in the air to make it look a little bit more fucking dangerous. And but to me, I was expecting more. Maybe I pumped myself up too much for this. So here's my problem with, it seems, with AEW wrestlers being unable to improvise. Moxley hits some sort of like exploder suplex on Omega through the barbed wire board in the corner. And he only goes through the bottom bit. So most of it is still on a slant. At that point, if this was ECW, one of those guys would be like, oh shit, we didn't break the whole thing. We better fucking do it. Yeah. So like if it was Rhino, he would have picked that cunt up and just drove him into it just to fucking finish it off. Yeah. That thing was there the whole time. No one thought to utilize it again. Can't improvise. That's my thought process. Yeah. I thought the paradigm shift onto the board was a letdown and it looked shit with the explosions.
He didn't even hit the paradigm shift. Kenny landed on his chest.
Yeah, it just looked clunky. I like seeing the pile driver come back in this show. I like the pile driver. It shouldn't be omitted because kids would put their siblings into a pile driver and many years ago. Bring the pile driver back.
As a parent, it's all on the parent. If you're not paying attention to your kids enough to see if someone's hitting a pile driver, that's on you.
You see the kid between one of your other kids' legs and they're hooking them. Jump in and stop. Don't let them pick it up and execute.
I've got two of them and I keep my eye on them as much as possible.
All right, we get it. All right, we get it. You're a dad.
Seriously,
all right.
Seriously.
Let everyone out there know that he's a dad.
People are just complaining about the fact that wrestling is making my kids feel like you can pile drive and powerbomb every other kid. No. Keep an eye on your kids. Make them not fucking stupid.
Yeah, all right, Dad, we get it. Okay.
You can pile drive other kids.
You know what? I'm going to go to a fucking parent-teacher interview and I'm going to talk about this shit.
The whole time I was thinking, I don't want Moxley to win. I thought Callis should have run down at one stage when it looked like Moxley was on the way to winning because he should have been in a panic that his beloved Kenny Omega was about to lose. But then we had what took place with the Good Brothers. I liked the finish. I liked the impact of that one-winged angel onto the chair. It was disgusting, but that was the most impressive thing of the match for me. I couldn't hear what Omega was saying to the camera, so they need to fix that because he was looking at the camera saying something. They need to put a little microphone there and pick it up when someone is looking into that camera and saying something. The countdown was on, and I went, ha, 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 the countdown, and it's counting down. Here comes Eddie. Jumps on top of him. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And then I wrote, ha, 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 ha. That was so fucking gay. And then I'm like waiting for Eddie to like look up and be like, oh, thank God. But does he do that? No, he's still just, he's dead.
He passes
He's
out.
dead. Somebody contact his wife. We need to make arrangements for his funeral. He's dead. And I was like, why is Eddie knocked out? Nothing happened. What the fuck is going on? And I'm just sitting there watching. And I'm like, what a joke. It was a little bit of fireworks. Why is he selling it? Nothing happened. This is embarrassing. What a horrible ending. What the fuck is with this company? Call an audible. Call an audible. There was a referee at ringside. There were people at ringside. Have a plan B if something goes wrong. Okay, hey, something goes wrong, pretend it's a relief and get up and be like, oh, thank God. They didn't think of that.
Or just send Kenny back out and say like,
or just have someone say, bro, Eddie, nothing happened. Don't sell. Get up. Just have someone at ringside. I think the referee or someone was still there. People were there just in case something probably went wrong.
Someone's got an earpiece.
Eddie, everything's fine. Just get up. So after all that, what an embarrassing ending, and Shockmaster who?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And before I will let everyone get into this, in particular, Joose, I will let you go last because I am most interested in your thoughts because I didn't catch your thoughts on this one. Before you go, I will say this. How do you not, and this is, we watched this in WWE, audibles are called very regularly. How does someone not call an audible to let him know Kingston does not need to sell this? Someone's got to call an audible. The ref has to have an earpiece in to say, okay, this is definitely fucked up. You don't even need an earpiece. You literally said, because this is the first time it's ever been done on American TV up until this point now, you literally say, okay, if this goes right, then Eddie Kingston sells like he's just died.
Yeah.
If this goes wrong, then Eddie Kingston gets up and says, oh, okay.
Thank God. Omega fucked up when he made it. Thank God.
Or alternatively, you have Kenny and the Good Brothers come out and laugh because they've just freaked John Moxley and now Eddie Kingston out. Cowardly heels, ha ha ha. I made you think you were going to die. There's so many fixes to this.
And then the show with Kenny holding the belt up, laughing.
There's so many
Instead
ways.
of Kingston laying over him, nothing happened.
You can either get this as A, Kenny looks like an idiot for designing his own death match, which works because it's technically speaking a competitor to WWE. It's still classified as more of an indie show. You can get
and then Tony Khan's post-show comments would have been okay.
Yeah, Tony Khan comes out and says, "Hey, this was the game plan." Oh, Kenny Omega.
Liar.
Kenny Omega clearly doesn't know how to build a ring. Hey, we're not idiots. You want to make a product that says, as the competitor of WWE, we don't treat you like idiots. We treat you with respect. We treat you as if you have knowledge of the business. But yet you come out and say, oh, Kenny Omega doesn't know how to build an exploding ring, blah, blah, blah.
We know he didn't build it, bro.
We know, I know for a fact that Kenny Omega did not put a single nail into a single fucking piece of wood. We know there's other people making this shit. So we don't need the bullshit excuse of, oh, Kenny doesn't know how to make an exploding ring. Obviously not.
If you know that, bro, then why would you let him build it, you fuckwit?
Exactly.
Like, why would you let him build it? So that makes you look bad as a character, Tony.
Oh, look, as a comedy thing, we showed his designs as crayon. So obviously, if he goes wrong, then it's on Kenny. Well, guess what? He was the former Wrestler of the Year. If you're really trying to build Kenny up as the champ, then you won't make him look like an idiot by building a bad ring. You got to call things on the fly. This match did not make sense.
Own it. Just own it. Be like, hey, man, it fucked up.
Yeah.
We fucked up.
And look.
And we'd have more respect for you for that.
I appreciate how AEW treated the whole Sean Spears, Cody Rhodes chair shot because they accepted the fact that the gimmick chair did not work. They tried it. It did not work. They tried to bring it back for the boys. It did not work. I can accept that as what happened. But when you've got an exploding barbed wire death match that has a reputation of being the most brutal match in professional wrestling, at least in Japan, you bring it over for the first time in America, you need to test this shit out. You can't just assume that this is going to go right the first time and that's it. And if something does go wrong, you need to have a backup to say, okay, if this does go wrong, we have a way of making this work for the sake of our TV program. Now, they're in a situation where Eddie Kingston needs to come out on TV and explain himself in a unbelievable way. Because we know that Eddie Kingston has more than enough skill on the microphone to get.
Man, I feel bad for him now. I feel bad for him.
No, because
He's
I love it.
now-
I
now-
love
now-
Eddie Kingston.
Now he's stuck with this thing that he was a part of, and it's not his fault at
it's
all. But now he looks foolish because he had to lay there because he didn't know. He wasn't looking up. He didn't know if it worked out or not. Obviously, there weren't enough explosions, but he doesn't know because he's looking down.
No, exactly.
So now it's like Shockmaster to me. It doesn't look as bad.
The fortunate, but Carl, the fortunate part is that Eddie Kingston is one of the best on the mic at the moment outside of the WWE. So I have faith that Eddie Kingston will manage to bring this back in some way.
The only way he's going to get out of this is if he says, "Look, guys, I have narcolepsy." So it just so happened at that moment, I fell asleep.
Look,
And
we're gonna have to wait
when I
and
woke
see.
up, I was relieved that I was not burned to a crisp.
if you
I
guys-
was late.
if you guys want us to review the next AEW show just specifically to see how Eddie Kingston works his way out of this, we will.
Dude,
We
I want to
absolutely
do
will.
it. I'll
Yeah,
do it.
I'll watch
we'll,
it.
We'll do it. We'll do
We
it.
have to watch Dynamite this
We
week
will
then.
watch Dynamite to see
Oh,
if Eddie Kingston
God,
fixes
don't.
himself, and we will do a review specifically on
I'll
that.
watch the YouTube clip.
Yeah.
I'm not watching
His-
the whole thing.
Now I'm going
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not watching the full episode.
Juicy is ready to go to bed, so that's why I've given him the final
Needs
place.
to fit in his pre-bed wank as well.
Yeah, no,
So
I know.
That's right.
I've decided to give Juicy the final say on this product because of the fact that he wants to go to bed. So Juicy,
here we go, Juicy boy.
what do you think of the main event?
Take it away,
As
Juicy
in-
boy.
And before you start, I want to know your opinion on the overall stipulation because I know you're not too much into your deathmatch stuff. I want you to know how you thought
Pussy.
the stipulation fit into
Yeah,
the
great.
entire rivalry, as well as how you thought it paid off in terms of the overall story.
Yeah, pussy.
Yeah.
Pussy.
Fucking. Yeah, look, I don't mind deathmatch stuff in like smaller doses. I think
Fire.
that if I enjoy it when it's like a specialized tournament, the bunny. I enjoy it when it's just a specialized tournament
bunny.
which is strictly intended to be deathmatch stuff. And I don't mind it in circumstances like this where you've got these two hardcore guys and you know, they're gonna have this ultimate test to see which one's, you know, tougher. So the fact that it was a barbed wire match didn't bother me. What did bother me was that I knew that they were going to fucking... Like, actually, you know what? The actual match itself didn't bother me as much as I thought it would. Like, Jack mentioned the previous hardcore match they had, and he liked it. I didn't like it. I thought that was too far. But most of the spots they did in this one, you know, I thought they were pretty good. The explosions and stuff, for me, were basically unnecessary. I don't really think that any explosions were needed at all. I understand why they did it. I understand that it's from Japan. I've seen a bunch of it in Japan. But I thought it would have just been perfectly fine just with the barbed wire on its own. I thought the match would have been just as good. I would have I would have actually done a few more things, like actually show technicians setting up the barbed wire and stuff. They're all wearing gloves, you know. They've got special equipment on to make sure they don't get hurt. Really sell the fact that this is a dangerous situation.
They should have had it set up with like one of those robots that are used to defuse bombs.
Yeah, some
Like
shit
it's
going
that
on like
dangerous
that.
that the little robots
Yeah.
going along just to
Maybe-
make sure that.
Maybe you see that there's like a fire, like the fire department's there or something like
Yeah,
that. Something like
yeah.
that to make it more serious.
Yeah.
And then, you know, so the way that it ended was like I knew that the final explosion was not going to be anywhere near as good as it would need to be to actually truly sell that Eddie Kingston is heroic for putting himself
He's
in
dead.
the way. but it was not. It was even worse than I expected it to be. It was like all this build up is coming. It's like you're having a wank and you're finally about to get there. You're like, it just didn't come.
And then when you're
That's
about
what-
to come, the camera shoots the guy's ass on the porn you're watching, and
Like,
the cum shot isn't as good. It's disgusting.
so it was really anticlimactic. I agree with you guys that it would have been really easy
Do ya?
to call an audible. Yeah. To call an audible and just have fucking either Kingston should have.
Look at us using the phrase "call an audible" like we're in
Yeah.
the business.
No. But I definitely think that Kingston, like Carl said, looked up and gone, oh, it didn't actually go up, and he was confused. Yeah. Then it would have still sold the fact that he's earned Moxley's earned his respect enough that he's willing to try and save him. And so it wouldn't have mattered that the explosion didn't really work that
It's
well.
like he took a bullet for the president kind of
Yeah.
thing.
But the fact that he just laid there and fucking the commentators sold it as if it was fucking. The commentators sold as if it was
I
this
feel bad for
devastating
them.
thing. They were selling it like it was this devastating thing in the ring, and it just looked stupid. It was laughable. So
Well, there's
for
people
Tony-
crawling in the ring, bro. They're crawling in the ring to attend to him. That's when they should have said, "Hey,
Yeah.
yo, it's all right.
So
Hey.
fucking
Hey."
for Tony Khan to come on there and say, well, it works in kayfabe anyway, because Kenny's probably not very good at making bombs and all this shit. No, if there's going to be an exploding barbed wire death match, right? Then the company or whatever infrastructure sorts out that kind of stuff would be responsible for building it to make sure that the promotion can present the match advertised.
Yep.
So saying that Kenny Omega built it is fucking stupid. Why would Moxley agree to just wrestle in this exploding contraption built by his opponent who he doesn't like and doesn't trust?
And why
It's
would
ridiculous.
the local
Yeah.
athletic commission
Yeah.
allow that match to take place if it's not by somebody
Yeah.
who is an actual carpenter
Like,
or
why
someone
would
who's
they allow,
qualified,
some jerry-rigged fucking
fucking-
barbed wire exploding thing?
made by a fucking Olivier?
Fucking
And,
Olivier.
yeah, no, it was absolutely the most fucking. Like, I actually thought the spots in the match were good, but the finish really killed it. And the thing that annoyed me most about the entire spectacle was the way that the company handled it. And the way that the lack of response and the lack of interest in the fact that they've just blown the biggest spot of their second biggest pay-per-view of the year. And so I guess to summarize my thoughts, all I would have to say to end it on is,
And I made this point earlier, and a couple of you, well, maybe all three of you might not know the band Greta Van Fleet, but they sound exactly like Led Zeppelin. And they were asked, "Are you influenced by Led Zeppelin?" And like, "Oh no, we never would have thought that." They sound exactly like them. So I don't have respect for them now because they try to bullshit it, and Tony's trying to bullshit it too. So I don't respect it.
yeah.
Tony has probably the most opportune situation where he can get himself over as in a similar vein as Dana White. Now, obviously, Dana took a bit of a beating with UFC with this whole COVID thing, but overall, they can be considered the best promoter because of the fact that they took themselves onto an island, got themselves all their health restrictions, blah 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 blah. They got this whole thing over. What I don't understand is there's all these COVID issues with wrestling as a whole. You've got Jacksonville, which is all in Florida. All this shit is in Florida. NXT, Jacksonville, whatever it may be. It's all in Florida, hotspot. How can you not consider taking your situation away from the hotspots and getting more fans involved? They had all this opportunity because the cinematic match delivered, Matt Hardy, Adam Page delivered. Obviously, the death match left a lot wanting. But they had plenty of matches that did deliver. Why would they not consider taking this away from their Jacksonville location And this goes back to WWE.
And just have it in Greenland, man. There's no
Yeah.
COVID cases in Greenland. Let's go to Greenland.
Like, why would you not? It's a very similar situation to like all these places that are the Australian Open. They obviously there was a situation in Melbourne where they had the COVID cases that came up. Why were they not taken to a situation where you can get as much of a crowd in as possible?
Because they're morons, bro. They're morons.
AEW has a lot of work to do in terms of not only its office, but the booking situation. There's a lot to work on. I enjoy AEW as a product because of the fact that they have all these new matchups that you don't expect if you're a fan of the independent scene. There's a lot of things that you may miss because there's so many different federations, so many different companies. You miss a lot of the stuff.
Yes.
AEW has this golden opportunity to hit all those markets because they're bringing in all these talents from all these different talents. Sorry, I know you laughed at that, Carl.
Are you a bit tipsy, bro?
Bro, look at this. Look at this. 5 minutes.
Why does it have to be in such a big jug? You're about to have a hoedown or something? Look at that
It's got
jug.
wood chips. It's got wood chips at the bottom of it.
Why?
It's aging. It's aging very nicely. But the main thing I want to say,
Fuck.
You're
I'm-
aging.
bro.
You're aging more and more as this show
look
is
at the
going.
beard. Look at the beard. I'm aged very fine. I'm like a red wine. Okay, the older
Right,
I
this-
get,
You
the
look
better I
like
get.
really savage.
Let's
yeah.
get on with it, boys. I got a fucking day
Yeah.
job to go to tomorrow.
It's
Yeah,
time to
I
wrap it up.
My main final point is AEW needs to focus more on the fact that they need to get these new talent over. A lot of their matchups relied on their older talent to get their matches over. And in the overall perspective of it, the older talent got those matches over. How many new talent do you think really sold the AEW Revolution 2021 pay-per-view? With the
Adam
exception-
Hangman Page.
Adam
Yeah.
Page was the only person that stuck out to me as the person that sold AEW as a talent.
And the Gun Club.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
and the
Gun
Gun
Club.
Club, of course.
Adam
yeah.
Page and the Gun Club are the only people
Hikaru
that
Shida.
yeah. Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
absolutely.
possibly.
All right, let's
yeah.
name these four then. I would say that Hangman Page, Shida, and the Gun Club are really the only reasons that I would accept this pay-per-view as a success. Because
Oh, and
those-
Ricky Starks.
Yeah, probably Ricky Starks.
Ricky
too.
Oh,
Starks
Sting did good too.
And
Sting-
Miro. And Miro is
Sting-
good.
Sting-
No,
no,
Miro
did
not
good.
yet.
He did good. He did
Miro-
Here's
good.
the thing. Here's the thing. Out of all the new talents, out of all the AEW exclusive talents that really managed to make a mark here, Adam Page, Shida, and the Gub Club.
And
Absolutely.
Butcher and the Blade.
The Gum Club.
The Gum
Gub
Club.
Club.
The
Gub Club.
5 Gum Club. No, the Gum Club made
That
an
was
impact
bad.
here.
Hey, Butcher and the Blade. Come on, man.
Butcher and the Blade made themselves
Bro,
a little
the
bit more
bunny.
legitimate. Here's the thing. I don't believe enough in the AEW talent. There was a few people, as we mentioned, Adam Page,
That's very offensive.
Butcher and the Blade, Gun Club. There's all these people that have the potential of becoming big, but you've got
You're
all
only
these-
as good as the material written for you, bro.
absolutely, and it's the same thing. All these people are
Good point,
expecting-
Carl. That's 10 points
Yeah,
to me.
absolutely, 10 points to Carl. There's this idea. There's this idea that there is an alternative to WWE, but is it really an alternative? Because
WWE.
Well, it is. 'cause it's on
WWE.
TNT.
It's no, it is an alternative, but
But is
it's-
it? Is it because the
hang
same
on.
guys- the
Hey,
management-
It counts as an alternative because it's a different organization that's run differently.
Yep.
But the content of it does not offer me an alternative to the annoying shit that I see on WWE. It just offers me different annoying shit over on this show.
Great point, DJ. And that's where we'll end it here tonight, guys.
Mm.
Mr. 55, do you want to say something about the annoying AEW shit?
All I gotta say is WWE and AEW. Same annoying shit, different day. Let's get on with it,
And
boys.
hey,
Go fuck yourself,
hey,
Cody.
guys, if I wanna quickly ask this before we go offline.
Yeah.
If Christian Cage does debut a full-time contract style deal, or at least wrestles on the next AEW event, do we review that?
Maybe.
Potentially. And also, before we do go, chat, if you like this edition of the Four Horsemen live in a living color, please let us know. Because this has actually been really fun. I don't know about you
This has
guys.
been good.
We can tell you've had fun, bro. We can
man,
tell.
Look at this.
Yeah.
This was full.
I know you
This
showed
was
us
full.
before, bro.
This
You
is
showed us
2
before.
liters. I've at least gone through 2 liters.
Look,
Luke,
I'm taking over as
tip
host
some of that
now
down
to
here? Can you tip some of that, like, you know?
All right,
DJ. You have
okay,
DJ.
yeah.
You have work tomorrow, bro. You have work tomorrow,
Yeah.
bro.
Wait. Okay.
Hang on.
Okay. Yep. Yep. Okay. This is going to your
Whoa,
side.
don't
No,
get that anywhere
Go
near
into
me.
the corner. No, the other corner, DJ.
What?
The other
This-
corner. Go into the top corner. Go into the top corner.
No, DJ's below you where I'm looking.
There you
so.
go. Now closer to the edge of the camera. Closer to the edge.
Oh my God, we
I
gotta
need you to
sign
be-
off
I
in this
need you
shit.
to-
This
okay.
is.
My
Luke,
name-
you have
my
lost
name is-
control of the show.
my name
You've
is
lost control.
MonetMaaate.
He
I
is
have-
Luke Monet. He's MonetMaaate.
I
I'm
lost control.
California, alongside Juicy Boy and Slapnuts himself, Mr. 55, Jack Wallace.
Thank God we got a pro.
Thank you for being here tonight with us on the show, the Four Horsemen, reviewing AEW Revolution, and we will see you next time.
I'm
Yep.
so glad.
And I'm the Ric Flair of the Horsemen.
I'm so glad we
Right.
got California here because
Bang.
I signed that out. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Guys. You
Bang.
guys have been an absolute pleasure. Best
Bang.
Instant Classics, IMO, Alex,
Bang.
Hannah, you all know who you are. You
Bang.
guys have contributed a lot to this stream, and I'd like to thank you all personally. You know what? Absolutely. I'm going to read out the entire chat users.
Bang.
We got Juicy Boy, MonetMaaate, Slap the Nuts,
Bang.
Stream Elements, Bestia, IMO Creator, Adams
Bang.
Pong, Bagel
Bang.
Crustus,
Bang.
Bing Cortana,
Bang.
Chip Chavuvara, Droop Dog,
Luke, shut up and let's sign
Yeah,
off.
fucking sign off, cunt. I'm
Dude,
fucking ready to go
DJ's
to
got-
bed.
Like,
man.
Jack
Yeah.
and DJ have work in the morning. I have the
Yeah.
day off.
I have
but
work. I've got
let's-
work too. They're pussies. You know
Oh,
what?
yeah,
Okay, well,
you don't have fucking
All you
anyone to
do is
ask
play
to work
video
on.
games all day, man.
My name is
Yeah,
Luke
actually-
Monet, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in to the.
And I'm California. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time. See ya.
Yep, see you later.
Yeah.
This is the fourth.
See you next
podcast.
time.
Take care, guys.
We will see you next time. Thank you.
Before we
Hurry up
close,
and sign
you know
off,
what? You know
Luke.
what? Fuck you
No.
all.
We will
I
see
don't-
you next
I
time.
ain't
Thank you.
closing the same
Dun,
way.
dun, 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 dun,
No,
dun,
no.
dun, 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 ba-dum,
Nope.
dum, dun,
Nope.
dun, dun,
Nope.
dun, dun.
Mr.
What's this next
55,
video?
Mr.
Dun,
55,
dun,
Juicy
dun.
Boy, the host with the most. Paper, scissors, rock to see who gets to close out the match.
Oh,
Close out
fuck
the
off. We
entire-
want to.
The
we
match.
Want to go to,
The match.
The
Fuck
episode.
you.
The
Ah.
episode.
No,
Who gets to
listen,
close
you
out?
drunk
wanna go-
loser.
wanna go.
Okay.
Drunk
listen,
loser.
absolutely
Listen,
fucked up.
listen.
Rishin.
Okay,
Oh,
Okay.
Richard.
guys,
Sure.
guys,
Also,
guys,
okay.
guys. Everyone,
Guys,
on behalf
hello?
of myself, Billy Chattercock,
Yep.
Mr. 55 Live, Jack Savage,
how many outros do we have
MonetMaaate,
to do?
and California in Theory, we will see you down the road.
No,
We'll see you
what?
next time. Thank you. Bang.
Hey, guess what? I
Bang.
control the stream. California, Juicy Boy, paper, scissors, rock right now. Paper, scissors, rock. All right, that's scissors. for
Fucking end the
California.
stream, cunt.
Okay.
End the stream, okay?